Okay, what is up, people? I'm gonna take the first minute or two of this just to try and make it so people know I'm doing this because that is a piece of the puzzle that apparently I'm not doing. So we're gonna do that real quick. At least get the link and share it. So I apologize for the one or two people. So that's me tracking PS5 in the background. I apologize to the maybe 10 people who decide to watch this. But hey, yo, if anyone watches this, if you're hearing my words right now, first of all, damn, that's crazy. Second of all, hey, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. But like I said a second ago, my current little priority is just going to be to share this. Okay, why did that get louder? I apologize. Uh, I am actively keeping an eye on the things in the background. So we'll see. If PS5 drops, you'll know. I've got this thing on the lowest latency I can do it, so hopefully it'll happen pretty quick. Definitely, honestly, keep an eye on Twitter. If you don't know, the quick people to follow are Showtime Pro 4, Cheeto Gaming YT, Linus Wilson. Uh, there's a few more big ones, but Spiel Times, something like that. Anyways, I need to not get into the talking and focus on the sharing for this moment right now. That way, I can hopefully have some people whose questions I'm going to answer and I can be useful to someone. Because I'd like to think I have a pretty good grip on what's going on here. Oh, I'm gonna watch me watching me. That's gonna be an interesting thing. I'm just trying to get the link again. This shit's all new. Ooh. Okay, there I am. Look at me. Hello to myself. Oh, that's decent. That's not that bad. It's only like 5 seconds behind. Let's see. We'll do the timer. Here, I'll do it from here. That's what's up. Okay, ready? Here we go. Three, two, one, go. That's like, yo, that's pretty good. Oh shit. Okay, that's cool. 11 seconds? 11, 12 seconds? I'll take that shit. I'm paying for the lower package internet, so that works for me. Hmm. Okay. Let's get some beats on for you guys. Oh, I need to right, the whole fucking reason I went to that is so that I could share it. Okay. How do I share my own video? I don't fucking know because I've never done this. Oh, wow. I think we can confidently say that's the only time my singing has been on the internet. Uh, sick. I'm just trying to find my motherfucking link out here, okay? Shit. How do I... Is it literally, do I just take what's in the top? Is it that simple? Okay, whatever. Whatever, man. Nobody cares that I'm streaming. But that's alright, because at some point... Sometimes there's a camera here. The camera is here. Uh, no, it's all good. That's at some point. Hopefully, I'll have a small amount of people who care what I have to say. I mean, it's kind of the idea here. I'd like to think. I mean, what personally inspired me to do this is, I just spent a lot of time staring at this fucking shit, and it's low key infuriating to have this knowledge and basically have nothing to show for it. So, like, now I at least have video to show for it. But secondly, and more importantly, the dudes who are covering this, who are awesome and are honestly almost exclusively dudes. maybe entirely dudes. So that's kind of weak. If there's any ladies out there, yo, fucking step up. That's what's up. Let's do it. Um, let's see. I'm still showing up? Okay, right? Yeah, I'm chill. Uh, Okie dokie. Yeah. Anyways, the people covering it are doing a great job. But the biggest thing I'm finding is that if you try, because I did try, to go into any of their live streams or chats and be like, yo, this thing, that thing, uh, it's unlikely that your idea is going to be gotten to. So, your boy's just out here. Maybe I only talk to 10 people, and that's okay. I want to do it every day. Gives me something to do during my quarantine. Ultimately, if you're starting from zero, then you get. I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna have to be in zero at some point. So for now, we're gonna live that life. I got my link from Bitly here, so let's put it on the Twitter, which is, you know, I have no followers, so is it legitimate? It doesn't matter. More than likely, no. But we'll try it nonetheless. I'm trying to be. Let's see. There's a way to like embed. How to embed YouTube live link into Twitter post on the desktop browser while logged into both your YouTube and Twitter accounts. Go to the YouTube video you want to share. Click the word share underneath the video and then hit Twitter. Probably should have seen that coming, huh? Yeah. Probably should have seen that. But, that's okay. We're gonna. Okay, here we go. No. Don't want to add to my watch list. I have one subscriber, though. That's cool. One person did pay attention to me, which is fun. Okay. Share. Where's the share button? How do I share? This is hard. I do not know what I'm doing. Oh, I have to go lower. Gotta go lower. That's what's up. Yo. Okay. Cool. So, I'm learning. Thank you to anyone who's putting up with me right now. I don't think anyone is, but in the off chance that they are, I don't. I did that wrong. That's not what I meant to do. Shit. Gotta go back to my. To all. To all people watching this right now, thank you. You're not watching it live, which is okay. I forgive you. It's sort of one of those, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it. Ooh, I like my own video. Gotta start somewhere. A little bit of self-promotion, right? What? Why do I have 2 likes? How did that happen? Is someone watching me? No. But I have 2 likes, but no viewers? Thank you. That's confusing, but I appreciate it. Cool. Thank you. If you want to say anything in the chat, I'll talk to you. But okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, actually, I know how this works. I have no viewers, so there's no. Okay, whatever. Uh, if and when someone does come, I am answering any questions you might have. Because I spent a lot of time following this. I don't know a ton about the really obscure international stuff. So, like, I don't know if things ship to the middle of Liechtenstein and things like that. But, if you're in the U.S., for sure, I know what non-regional things are going on. Um, I was gonna originally like maybe cover Xbox, but it seems like Xbox is getting their shit figured out and the demand is just way lower. I mean, I don't know for sure, but it seems like maybe it's happening. I mean, hey, if still have no viewers, but feel free to write in the comments what you think about that. Not that you will. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing going. Trying to help the people that are willing or care about being hurt. Because I think that honestly is a lot of what the streaming community and this stuff is about. I think people just want to feel heard. I mean, fuck, I want to feel heard, right? I'm here. I'm talking to nobody. But ultimately, you cannot be heard if you don't start speaking. So, I'll speak to 0 viewers for a bit. I'll share it on my social networks, which are not necessarily, the biggest right now, considering no one knows who I am. But if anyone does decide to show up, I don't know shit about PS5. I know what we're looking at right now. I know we're all looking at PlayStation Direct. So, if you're not, well, first of all, don't open PlayStation Direct if you're not on it yet. For whatever reason, our community has a belief, which I think is founded in some fact, that you don't want to camp the page. Camp meaning stay on it, refresh it over and over again, because that's similar behavior to what bots do. And I'd say the PS Direct has the highest security as far as like making sure it goes to real people stuff. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to focus on sharing this. I'm watching in the background. The reality is Sony runs on Pacific Standard Time, which is where your boy's at too. It's fucking 25 minutes left in the day. There's no goddamn way that somebody's sitting there and is like, I could stop working. Or, just hear me out, or we could invite thousands of internet gamers to overload our day and then complain about it on the internet. No? So, yeah, I don't... What I will say is I think PlayStation Direct is going to drop this week. I don't think today is going to be that day. You also have to consider it... Okay, first... I gotta focus on sharing this fucking video because I keep talking to myself. Fuck. Shit. Woo. Sorry. Just rile myself up a little bit. Try and have a good attitude about it, You gotta find some way to fucking feel sane talking to yourself for hours at a time. It's like, if you're not talking to the possibility of a future viewer, what the fuck? Who are you talking to? What are you doing? Alright, let's see if they boot me from Reddit for promoting my stream. Because I don't know how this works at all. This is my first time trying to share my stream. I just did it by default through Streamlabs last time. Okay, here I go. I'm posting on Twitter. Come kick it and ask questions. We watch the PS5 possible drops in RIP. Drops live. Or just hang it. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's do some fucking hashtags. Dude, I don't. If it isn't clear, I don't use social media. I don't fucking know what is kosher and what is not in this world. I have largely avoided it because it is both intimidating and an unreality that I don't feel like is generally worth participating in. Hold on. Echo, evening mode. Okay, cool. Um, that's my opinion on the matter, but that being said, it's necessary to connect with people, and now that, especially with COVID, I think it's really changing the way we are thinking about connection, about relationship, whatever that is. So the idea of like overly producing videos or trying to do shticks and stuff, I'm just like, it's a bit much. It's not for me. But live streaming, connecting with people who are also just sitting there doing the same thing, like for me, it feels like a waste of living in 2020 to not take advantage of that. It's just like, I laugh because it's like a waste of 2020. Like the whole year was a fucking waste. I say that with bittersweet, obviously, but anyway, so let's just see if we can post this. PS5 hashtag live hashtag target. Like, I don't know. If you put more hashtags, does that make people dislike you, or does that mean they're more likely to find you? Is it both? Is it neither? I don't fucking know. Live target drop. Question. Okay. Doesn't matter, because no one's watching me. But as soon as I see a viewer tick up, I'm gonna make you my friend. Jesus, I look fucking scary when I do that. I'm sorry. Not trying to be fucking creepy as shit. Right? Still nobody, I'm guessing? Nobody. That's alright. It is okay. I honestly only care if people are here so that if someone does happen to come and I'm just like working on this fucking bullshit self promotion, I don't want them to feel ignored because they're gonna be the person that I pay attention to. So, alrighty, let's tweet it. Even though nobody follows me on Twitter, but maybe if they heard my fucking gorgeous singing voice, they would. He's a yuck. He's a yuck. Also, I'm not trying to offend anyone with the strange accents my body has been doing for the better part of 2 decades. I do my best to be conscious of how everyone feels and what's going on with that shit. So, feel free. If you see something wrong, you can call my ass out. I'm happy to talk about it. Also, I mean, I don't know if it really matters. Xbox XS is live on Newegg. Um, don't think most people are watching this if they're trying to get an Xbox. Can I post my link? Can I post my link? Okay. I'm still not used to that. Oh, hey, there's a person here. Hello, one viewer. Wow, this is... Sorry, I've been talking to myself for 20 minutes. Feel free, if you have any questions, put something in the chat. I will answer it. If you don't, no biggie. But now that I have someone here, I'll give you the basic rundown on what's going on. It's just for you. So basically, we're looking at Target and PlayStation Direct today. Anything else that happens is going to come, for the most part, completely out of the blue. PlayStation Direct is looking unlikely because it's 4:43, and like I'm on Pacific Coast time. I know Sony is, so like I don't know who the fuck wants to keep working and deal with bullshit at 4:45, 15 minutes from going home. So I don't think we're gonna see PlayStation Direct happen today. I mean, we'll see. There's always a chance, but you have to consider like they're a business and they're trying to cater to the millions of people that are trying to get it, which means, you know, if you're someone in the East Coast, like you're gonna be fucking pissed if it goes live at 10 p.m. So they're gonna try and operate for the most part on like a schedule that actually helps people. So I think PlayStation Direct. I wish I was like a weatherman and I could be like, whoosh, PlayStation Direct, fucking gone. But I don't think it's going to happen today. That being said, if you're someone that does follow this, or if you're not, that's okay. PlayStation Direct, we're looking at because they have a little queue on their website that indicates, or we think indicates, when they're going to have stock. We have plenty of evidence in the past that has suggested that it is a reliable queue for it. It is doing said queue, which is just basically when you access the PS5 page, it goes to the top of the page instead of the bottom. So if it's at the bottom, supposedly no units are coming. If it's at the top, units are incoming. Anywhere from, you know, we've seen like, I think an hour or two to like a day or two. So right now, we are in one of those good examples of a day or two. So it has been at the top of that page since about an hour or two before yesterday when it did drop and when your boy got 0 consoles. Still, I bought 3, own 0, because they keep getting fucking canceled or I don't get through. But anyways, PlayStation Direct, basically, I think for today is done. We can go over later, or if anyone... Oh, I need to refresh the chat. I'm sorry, it doesn't refresh. So if people are talking to me, I'm not... Okay, cool. No one's talking to me. I don't know why it doesn't refresh, or I'm still getting used to this. Anyways, Target, though, is kind of what everyone has their eyes on as, I think, a prayer or a Hail Mary for the day, because PS Direct did not manifest the way we were hoping it would. The Target matters because it's like the people who are aware of it stand a very good chance of getting it, but it is like very dependent on where you are and what targets you're looking at. So if you just want to figure out, like, do I even need to pay attention to Target? Go to, it's called Pop Finder. If you don't know about it already, POPFIND. I'm not sure if it's an ER or just an R. It should show up. A lot of people are looking for it. Search for, PlayStation 5 and do it at Target. That's generally how most people are doing it. Sometimes they'll do BrickSeek, whatever. They do the same thing. I think Pathfinder in general has been the best when it comes specifically to Target and Best Buy. For Walmart, BrickSeek for some reason seems to be superior. Anyways, look at what shows up. I've been keeping an eye on it for like 2 or 3 weeks straight now, and I had like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then today, all of a sudden, it was like 8, 7, 8, 7. And part of the reason I knew, and many people knew, is because it was kind of going around the community that a few people were having success. So people were, I think, paying attention to it more than they normally would. But I legitimately started like kind of shaking and was like, oh, it's fucking go time. Like, getting the PS5 for the stream like it's gonna fucking happen. No, I went to 2 Targets, and I can tell you about my experience at those Targets. So when I live in the Pacific Northwest. Honestly, I'll just say I live in Seattle, so it's a pretty densely urban populated area, which is why I'm a little bit anal about keeping an eye on it, because it's like you're up against a lot more people than you would be if you're kind of in more of a rural part of the U.S. Anyways, went to their first Target. I knew Podfinder said there were 8 in store, which was very true. So I went to the dude, waited patiently. He looked like me too, so I was like, homie's gonna hook it up if he can hook it up. Like, those moments when you kind of see someone eye to eye and you're like, okay, like, this person fucking gets it. Anyways, he was one of those guys. So I kind of asked him, hey, I heard there might be PS5s here. Do you know what the deal with that is? Like, I totally understand it's crazy, yada yada. Try and be respectful of those people. And he said, yeah, actually, he's like, we got 8 downstairs. They're all beautiful in display, but they're just locked up real tight right now, and we can't sell them or do anything with them yet. And I was like, cool. And I kind of like coaxed him into explicitly saying, so I was like, even if you wanted to, that capacity isn't even in the system right now. Like, you couldn't even click the computer, scan the things you needed to make it happen. He was like, no, we don't know yet. So, anyways, I went to the next Target just to kind of see, like, is it consistent everywhere? What should we expect? Yada, yada. At the next Target I went to, which is, like, probably, like, 8 miles away, something like that. So definitely in the same regional area. Probably, coming from the same distribution center. The dude I was talking to, I was like, oh, hey, I think there might be some units here. Do you know what's up with that? And he's like, oh, if there are any, he's like, I don't know about them. They'd probably be in the back. And I don't think it was like a feint or something. I think he was just like, dude, I'm just trying to pay my bills, man. I don't give a shit about this. Which, hey, I get that. There's a lot of people like that. But he told me basically explicitly it could be one of 2 things. They're either units they already had that are already sold, so you can't get them, or they're units that they already have physically but are not digitally in the system for purchase. And regardless, they both told me, as I think everyone is mostly reporting, if you want to get them, you need to order them online and pick them up in person. So it's one of those confusing half online, half in person situations where, I literally, when I was there with my phone, was like, so I could, if it was available, I could just order it on my phone right now, and then you could sell it to me. And he was like, yeah, they're just not there to buy yet. It's like, okay, sick. Glad you guys put them out in public view for us all to feel bad about ourselves. It's something I've spent a decent amount of time, mostly not live streaming, but keeping an eye on this shit, and to like get within like a foot of what you're looking for and just have someone be like, all right, dude. It's, I don't blame them, of course, but you're like, it's just right there. It could be over. But it happens. So if you're looking at Target, the main thing I think that matters right now is a lot of Targets, depends on the Target to Target, did physically receive products in store today. So there are physical products in a lot of Targets that were not in there yesterday, which to me, again, because I'm someone who does not have a PS5 and has been fucking hustling trying to figure it out like a normal ass person, that's a big change to go from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 to saying 8s and 7s and 8s and 7s and 8s. Like, it's still like pathetic when you consider, we got 3 viewers right now, which is sick. Thank you to my 3 lovely viewers. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll do my best to answer them. But like, this tiny little microcosm of what we're doing could swallow half the inventory of a Target. So it's like, even though 8 feels like a lot, I feel like, you kind of have to step back a little bit too and be like, how many people are paying attention to this? How many people are following it? And then I think beneath all of this, which a lot of people have been talking about in the wings, but isn't quite on the surface, I think, is like a lot of these units, because they're so low stock, are going to employees. Like anyone who's fucking worked for a store or whatever it is where something good comes in, like, employees are going to have first dibs. Like, I worked for a weed company for a super long time. And, like, the employees were always clued into, like, what's there, what's good, what can we finagle, how can we deal with it. I mean, it's not, feel free if you want to depress yourself, go look for all the stories of employees basically buying it out from, like, under people who've been waiting in line for fucking 20 hours and that kind of shit. But all this to say, it's even with 8 consoles, which feels like a lot in one of these stores, the chances are still hard. I know a lot of people on these streams who are covering this stuff are like almost like relentlessly optimistic. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it, but I don't want to like false sell anyone. You shouldn't fucking hop in your car, spend 20 minutes or an hour, who the fuck knows, driving somewhere just on a tweet for someone, 16-year-old kid at Target, to look at you and be like, who are you? What? Like, I don't fucking know any of this shit. So, I'm trying to help a little bit as someone who did do that today. I don't know, again, who's been staying, who's been going. If you have a question on my experience, I'm happy to talk about it. But the main summary of Target is there are physical units in store. They are not yet for sale. And when they do become for sale, it will only be through online for pickup. We suspect those are going to come online in the next 12 hours. Will that actually happen? And then, above all, if that happens, will it even matter? Will bots just scoop them up? Last I checked, Target does not have bot protection. Maybe they have some like basic captcha. Captcha. I don't know if I've had to say that out loud before. But it's not like PlayStation Direct where they've got a whole system going and people are getting in line. Like, I would love to believe I could catch one late tonight when no one is paying attention. But, we're talking, I have at most 50 units in a 25-mile radius of me. I think there's going to be a lot more than 50 people who are figuring that out. I think at minimum, there's going to be 50 people who are smart enough in coding that they have it automatically ready to go when it happens. And I think that's the shit that, me and potentially you as a normal person, like, there's not really a way to compete with that. I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm going to arm myself with information. I'm going to try and stay positive. I'm going to keep an eye on it. But at the end of the day, like, and I keep telling myself this too, like, don't throw yourself into an emotional tizzy because you didn't get something because you think you did something wrong, or like the captcha was too slow or whatever it is. A lot of times, for all we know, like, maybe 1 in 1,000 normal people bought them. I mean, again, a different tangent, but if you ever want to depress yourself, like, go look at what some of these bots are scooping. It's crazy. Because the dudes who fucking do it are, like, very cavalier about it and love fucking with the community who's trying to get them for real. Like, they literally will post their pictures of them. I mean, obviously, some people are just fucking trolling and don't have anything to do with it, and they're just, like, recycling pictures. It's the internet. But some people are real. I saw one that I dug into yesterday because I was so frustrated by it. This dude had, like, 85 PS5s and was like, yo, DM me if you want to get one. Just like, you're ruining it for all of us. So, in case you're new or coming to this, I'm doing my best to answer questions about what's going on with PS5, what to pay attention to. We were all paying attention to PlayStation Direct today. I think at this point, we're 3 minutes from 5 p.m. on the West Coast, which is where your boy and PlayStation, at least thus far, has been operating on. So, think PS Direct is probably not going to happen. But, you know, maybe Target will happen. We'll see. Um, Something might change. I don't know. If you are trying to keep an eye on for it, like I said earlier, go to Pop Finder, check, see if there are units available in your area. If there are, keep an eye on those targets and just like be ready to make a move if you see them appear. I don't have, I think as a layman, most people don't have like a good system to check like the Target app. You can obviously like I got stock alerts and that kind of stuff on, but when you're talking about a dozen or fewer units, you know, stock alerts are only so helpful. Stock alerts are helpful when there's, you know, 20,000 units because then normal people like us who cannot split second make a move, check out in 5 seconds, have enough time to obviously get there and make shit happen. So we'll see. I just check. I can show you how I do Target on mine. So I basically, Target app is generally more reliable. That's what the community has said. I found the same. You can go to the Target app. You can type, you know, PlayStation. It'll show up. Wow. Gorgeous. Oh, it's just pure light. We'll try that and see if it changes. Okay, cool. That's a little more doable. That's first time doing this kind of shit. So, you know, you can see it. It's chilling there. What you want to do, which I should probably make like an actual little guide on this later. At the bottom, you're going to see a thing that says change store. So, obviously, kind of shitty, you can't see. But you go to change store. And it's going to give you a way to essentially check the inventory of all of the stores that are near you, which is useful because, you know, I personally was spending a few days going like in between store, change store, check, blah, blah, blah. So this hypothetically should tell you that's what I'm checking. We'll see what happens when shit goes down. You know, we'll find out. But keep an eye on Target. If I find some way, I guess, to keep a better track on Target, then I'll let you know. But I think for right now, especially considering, I think this is an element of the Target thing too. So, no one's watching me actually, so I'm gonna pee, get another beer. To the few viewers I did have, thank you. I don't think you'll watch it again, but I appreciate it. You know, I had some viewers. The tweet worked. It only happened after the tweet. I don't think I have any viewers, but if I do, I'm coming back. Let's see. Big ol' zero? Oh yeah, big ol' zero. Okay, well, I'll take my sweet ass time then. Bink, bink, bink. Bink, 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 bink. What up? trying to get a little better at this thing. We'll see. You know, I'm gonna keep my hour or two little chats that I do every day on my page. If people decide to come in, I'll be one of those people who's gonna be live and answering questions and paying attention to things on a regular basis. So we'll see. So one of the streams we were just watching here is gone. We'll see. I'm gonna keep talking just in case people come to me. But yeah. So maybe I'll again now that I have no viewers, I'm gonna take a moment to try and put this somewhere. This whole fucking time have I been outputting my own audio? Oh, that's egregious. That is fucking egregious. Whoa. Getting out. Just a hair tie. I just need a hair tie. Just a hair tie. I guess this is probably one of those moments where it's like, yeah, I should probably just start gaming. Nobody's here. It's all good. Cute. Looking fucking fresh. Alright. Let's do some more shameless self-promotion. Like my own shit. I think that's probably part of it, right? Is you gotta start liking stuff. I want to be respectful of Reddit, because I'm not trying to like just like flicking through my face and other people's faces. I just want people to know, you know, if you're basically, you don't have to be alone, but like, you don't have to be alone. But if you are alone, like myself, you know, it's kind of nice to have somebody, especially if you're just sitting there looking at the same thing. So, we'll see. You know, I got my big 0 viewers at the moment, but I'm gonna put something on Reddit, hopefully respectfully. Let's see if anyone has questions. I'm tracking PS5 for the day. See that person? Oh, people. Really just wish I could see it. I need a second monitor. I'm doing this low motherfucking budge. Cause that was supposed to turn on a light. That was underwhelming. Oh, hey, hello, one viewer. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I've been mostly catering to myself since I've been alone, but now there's a person here. So, as long as there is someone here, though, I'll try and be useful with my time. If you're just tuning in, which is just you, because there's one of you, PlayStation 5 for the day, PS Direct, Target. The abridged version, not something I'm good at. PS Direct, 99% chance not happening today. Target might. I don't. If you want to say anything in the chat on what you want to hear about, I know a lot of stuff, but I'm probably just gonna ramble if you don't have a preference about PS5 stuff, obviously. But anyways, what you need to know for Target. Oh, and there they go. Well, try. I feel like that's probably like very real for some people, huh? And yeah, maybe I have to consider that. Because I think if I popped into a stream and I was like the only viewer, and somebody was like, that might be a little scary. Sorry. I'm just hanging out. Just a dude. Okay, well, no, it's just me. I'm gonna go back to trying to post this on Reddit. See if anyone wants to hang out. No one is watching me, so I can sing. For the record, not that I think anyone will ever pay attention to this, but I don't think I'm a good singer, and I don't usually sing consciously. So, do with that what you will. Okay. I'm tracking PS5 stuff. Okie dokie. If we end up with a viewer, we will pay attention to them. And if we don't, that's okay. I won't lie. Isn't a dub a W? Meaning a win? Maybe I'm not hip. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a guy. Now I need to plug in my lamps. Great. There we go. Now we're talking. Shabuya. Back boys, eh? All things that will go into the annals of YouTube history. Anywho, as long as we have 0 viewers, I'm going to try and post this link onto Reddit for the 13,000th time. Can he do it, folks? I won't lie, it's difficult because I can't see if things change in real time if I'm not on the screen. So, I have a sort of a separate monitor, but not really, where I can see webpage stuff, but I cannot, unfortunately, do camera and other things, which is the bummer. But, we out here. I might even start playing some PlayStation later, get wild with it. Hey, 3 people liked it. That's cool. I'm a person. It's a thing. Oh, there are a lot of hashtags on there, though. Well, I officially got my link. Let's see. Still no viewers, so we're all fucking good. Maybe just over time, I'll just get used to just kind of like live casting being a normalized person, living on their own, being a normal life, who's to say? But nonetheless, I finally have the link. I've also realized, sure, I was literally going to say something about being distracted, and then I got distracted. Funny how that works, eh? viewers? Not viewers, not viewers. I've only had one viewer ever talk to me, so I don't really know how to use the interface. For all I know, people will come and go. But I hit 4 viewers today. So, kind of a big deal. I'm just saying. I hope the dripping sarcasm comes through on that. If anyone wants to chat about it, I'm live checking. Oop. About it turned into a boot hit. Which, despite looking sexual, actually sounds Canadian. It's a fun little juxtaposition there. No. Not really. I'll try and make this useful. I guess I'll maybe update the chat description after the fact. But here's what to know if you're someone who decides to come in at 53 minutes into this video. Interesting choice, but who's to say? Actually, I need to be keeping a better eye on this. Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of giving up for the day. So, yeah. So what actually matters for today? It's not PlayStation Direct. That shit is not happening today. I think Sony is. Oh fuck! I can literally. My apologies, one viewer. Sorry, there's extra audio going. Yeah. So what to look for if you're paying attention to PlayStation today? Unfortunately, does not look like PlayStation Direct is gonna happen. They, like me, are on West Coast time, and it's time for most people to go home. So I don't think that's happening. The Target stuff is tricky. Also, one viewer, thanks for watching. Super appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in. If not, totally understand. But yeah, what to know about Target? I went to 2 Targets today because I had units showing up on Pop Finder. I don't know what your personal level of awareness on it is, but Pop Finder is an app that helps you find like the true barcode stock unit universally throughout their retailers, as opposed to a specific retailer. Anyways, Pop Finder has found, as it did for me, a bunch of PlayStations and Targets around the U.S. I've been keeping an eye for a while. It's been 000, and then all of a sudden today we're getting like 7 and 8. So I, like a fucking kid waking up on Christmas. Yeah, agreed. Thank you, Charles. Nice to someone is talking to me. That's awesome. Yeah, PS Direct was definitely a flop for tonight at least. But I think the thing with PlayStation Direct. Yeah, I think they're going to be tomorrow. I think they they're the biggest source, I think, to regular people. And they, I think, are trying to taper keeping people involved. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you don't want to blow your whole load at the very beginning and then have 2 weeks where you can't supply anyone with anything, because then everyone's pissed, no one's really hanging on. Whereas the way they've been dropping, like, we're all sitting here talking about it, right? So, PlayStation Direct, I think it might happen tomorrow. I am pretty damn sure. I would definitely put money on PlayStation Direct going live again this week. Whether or not that is actually Wednesday as opposed to Thursday or Friday, TBD, but I think it's really likely it's going to happen. That's its own thing. I don't know if anyone's still talking to me, but if anyone does have specific questions regarding either of those, feel free to direct where the commentary goes. For my personal sort of commentary of what's going on, PlayStation Direct did not happen today. It might happen tomorrow. The the landing page doing the thing that's telling the people who are following it that it is likely that stock is going to come up. How true is that really going to be? We'll find out. But I think it's pretty damn likely that we're going to see another PlayStation Direct drop this week, especially considering we did not get digital yesterday. So I think PlayStation Direct is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen tonight. I mean, it's 5 p.m. We're on the West Coast here. Like, it's time to go home. It's time to see your family. They're real people. Target's a weird one. So Target really only applies to you if shit is coming up in your Pop Finder app. So if you don't know about Pop Finder, just look it up on Google. It's called literally Pop Finder, and it essentially will track actual console, or not consoles, whatever item by their actual like universal code. So things show up for people like us in those apps that are not necessarily live in the stores themselves. I personally went to 2 Targets today because they both were showing units. I got really excited. So I like literally ran out of the door within like 10 minutes, was like getting upset while I was driving because I was like going too slow. And so I finally got to the Target, was like, hey man, like I saw that you guys might have like 8 PS5s here, kind of what's the deal with that? And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, we have the PS5s, they're all downstairs, they look great, they're like beautiful, but they're under lock and key and we just can't do anything with them yet. I'm going to try and, I'll just finish the story real quick, and then I'm going to respond to what I just saw in there. So, anyways, he basically told me, long story short, yes, they're physically here, but they're not in a place where they can move them in any capacity until they go live in their system, which is not something most of those people are in control of in any way. And that's loosely what applies to the second target I went to. Anyways, agreed. The rumor where Sony is hoarding consoles for larger holiday releases is compelling and makes the most sense given the proximity of production. Target will probably drop independently. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they're a big business. They know what the hell they're doing. They're not gonna make stupid moves that are gonna. I mean, think about it. If you're Sony and you're making PlayStation 5s and you decide to sell all of them in November, how many of these moms out there have no fucking clue what's going on and are going to find out in like a week that their kid wants a thing that is impossible to get? Like, Sony is not dumb. They're not going to give a drought of units for the entire month of December. So I think more units are definitely going to drop. When those are going to get to people like you and me, we'll see. I think our best bet, if you're someone who is like trying to pay attention to it, is PlayStation Direct. But like I was saying, Target, maybe. I'm going to, read that other comment. Good luck, man. One of the things is that with the shutdown going on everywhere, one of the most entertaining things was trying to hunt down a PS5. Yeah, I mean, basically, that's me. I have never felt inclined to do anything like this, but I was spending so much time looking at it, I was like, God damn, I feel like I just need to at least like find some other people doing this, have some interaction. You think we're going to see some substantial stock soon, said Louder Than Bob's 9. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. Sony would just be in such hot water if they could not deliver some decent push for Christmas, It's just... I don't see Sony fucking up quite that bad. I think it's still going to be hard. I think a lot of us are still going to be without consoles, unfortunately. But I don't think... I think we're starting to cross over to the point where new consoles are actually being made and starting to hit the market, as opposed to all of us squabbling over I think, what's supposed to be like a million consoles that have been sold and 2.2 to 2.5 that have been made. Caleb says, I'm looking forward to the next PS Direct. Me too. My opinion, that's the best bet for online, as you have a chance if you can get in with the first 10 minutes. 1000%, dude. That's exactly how I feel. I think PlayStation Direct is, for 2 reasons. I think it's the most reasonable way for regular people like you and me to get a console. Reason number one, they have an actual queue system. That's what it's called, queue. It's a way that they deal with, extra traffic of people trying to do it at once. I'm sure if you're looking at this, you've probably been in it once before. Um, queue, no matter what you want to say about it or how fickle it is, it definitely cuts out a lot of bots. It does. Okay, Louder Mom said, exactly, but it's not going to be easy to obtain, not counting on Florida guy rumors. Exactly. If not, PlayStation Direct, says Best Buy honestly seemed to have a pretty reasonable way of trying to buy one once it went live. Yeah, I think it was definitely reasonable. With Walmart being the absolute worst with bots, not even worth trying with them. Totally. I, God, the bot thing I think is like really becoming clear how skewed your launch will go depending on the steps you take. I mean, it's just the sad reality is if everybody knows about it, you don't have a chance. It sucks. Like, it's bullshit because we're normal people. So it would stand to think that, oh, knowing when it's going to go live should mean that more normal people are going to get it. It's like, no, that's actually when so many people are paying attention that a lot more people are trying to take advantage of the system than they normally would. So I'm totally with you there. Genold. Yeah, I just don't think Walmart is a waste of fucking time. They always tell people like, oh yeah, okay, we're coming. We're gonna have all these units. It's like I've still yet to even add one to my cart. So maybe when I add one to my cart, I'll take that more seriously. But I've followed that. I followed actual drops maybe 3 times. I've followed rumored drops probably 15. And especially, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to it, but like all the completely conflicting information the Walmart customer service people are giving out, where like some of them are like, I'm gonna level with you, we don't know shit, and then others are like, yes, 3, 6, 9, and 12, and it's just like, yeah, it's just you can't trust Walmart. Caleb says, obviously it isn't realistic, but I wish Sony would put all 2.2 million PS5s into one PS5 Direct queue. Imagine that. Oof. I mean, it. In some ways, it would be amazing, but in other ways, it does kind of. I think you would find somehow like bots would still, with enough time to prep for it. My gut says they would find a way to take advantage of it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I know what they're doing. I mean, I would do the same thing if I was in their position. You gotta keep the people coming back, right? Yeah. So Caleb Thomas says, yeah, and Walmart sucks for this. Totally agreed. I'm so over Walmart. Louder Than Bombs 9 says, yeah, not with COVID going on, brother. Truth. Supply chains, etc. Yeah. That's a big piece of this puzzle that I think none of us, even the companies themselves, have a good way of gauging the interference that's causing. Um, it's it's a double fuckery sort of situation because it pushes both supply and demand in the opposite directions. More people are inside, so we're all spending more time staring at pixels all fucking day. So we all, there's a lot of people that want consoles that, when they were entertained by the normal offerings life has, didn't think about getting a console. But now that they're spending the majority of their time indoors looking at the same TV, like, I get it. I'm one of those people. I'm like, fuck, I want a PS5. It sounds better. So from a demand side, that's already going up just by the nature of the way we're spending our time. And then supply wise, I mean, it's not hard to look around and see that like things getting from A to B is harder. We can't even move ourselves in the same ways. So why would we expect all other things that involve real human people to just be unaffected? It's just not, it's not practical. So totally agree with you. Yeah, the supply chain and the demand, both sides, just not a good place. But feel free if anyone has a thing they want to talk about. I'm just going to talk about what I think makes the most sense of looking forward to try and get a PS5. So I think PlayStation Direct is very likely to drop tomorrow or the day after. I don't honestly. I'd be surprised if it doesn't drop tomorrow. They seem to like to kind of keep people going and keep people entertained, but we'll see what happens. I'm very confident it'll happen this week. For them not to drop again this week would be a pretty dramatic deviation from the way they've been acting. When it comes to Target, and I can get back to that now that there's just less responses. If you want me to talk about something, let me know. This is the first time I've literally ever streamed to real people, so I'm just doing my best figuring it out as we go. But with Target, what's important to know? Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. Target's like that. What's that crapshoot? It's like if you're in the right place at the right time, like you can make that shit happen. My understanding from going to the 2 Targets I went to today is I have to somehow camp the online page in some capacity, and then try and put in that online order for pickup as soon. And yeah, ladder than bottom 9. Yeah, it's based on locality. If you want to figure out which of your stores are going to apply to that, if you will, Pop Finder is the best app to do it that most people use. It's the one I use for Target and Best Buy. You should go to Google, type Pop Finder, super easy. It'll let you put in essentially your address or zip code, and then it'll show you within 25, 50, 75 miles sort of what's around you. That's what I saw this morning, and I saw a lot of things. What's Caleb say? Another thing is that if you're not a hardcore gamer with consistent income, it's got to be tough seeing all these consoles going for $1,000+ and knowing you could pull that cash for it. Dude, 1,000%. Like, I won't lie. When I first started this, I was like, I'm watching this shit all day. If I get an extra one and I flip one, like, whatever. It's, I'm not gonna like be a scalper, but I'm just staring at it that day. And then it's like, man, did reality fucking smack me in the head. It was like, that's a fucking joke. You think you're going to sell one? You're not even going to get one for months. Like, it's, yeah, you guys obviously get it. I think we're all, I'm sure your mentality, same as mine, was like, well, if I get 2 and I flip 1, it's kind of like I get a half price one. Like, I'm not like a scalper. Okay, let's see. So based on this, another thing, hardcore gamer. Oh yeah, like we said, yeah, that cash is tough. I still refuse to go to the scalpers though. Fuck the fucking scalpers, man. They're so cocky about it. Exactly, but you can also check out stores around you. Yeah, check out the stores around you. Okay, sorry. I thought I was seeing. I'm watching it live behind me too, just to make sure if something does happen. But no, it's just one of the. If you guys, feel free to look at your boy Showtime Pro 4. I really respect the hell out of him. He's the first person who I think publicized the PlayStation Direct hack, if you will, which is if you go to their landing page, you land on it, and it goes to the top instead of the bottom. It more than likely means inventory is going to drop. But I'm going to go back to catering to the people that are talking to me because I've never had that before. So yeah, exactly. Check the stores around you. Would I get an Xbox, says Colin? How important is it that it needs to be a PlayStation? Honestly, I'm not one of those people that's like gonna be super shitty about like, oh, one is fucking superior and like anyone else, blah blah blah. But for me and how I play and how I use my console, I don't find there's a lot of things that Xbox gives me that PlayStation doesn't. Whereas the other way around, I think there are a lot of things in my book that PlayStation gives me that Xbox doesn't necessarily do. So one of those is like I have friends who are PlayStation people. At the end of the day, like you kind of got to go with your community if you're playing with your friends, because if you're all over a bunch of different consoles, it's like, why am I gonna spend money on a console that I can't use to kick it with my friend, right? Like, so that's a big one for me. And then on top of it, I like the way the focus is on the game and the interface and the connecting with other people. I think that's cool. I like the idea of kind of minimizing a lot of the like admin extra bullshit and just really making it about like How do you play a game, and how do you interact with other people while doing it? Like, to me, I think PlayStation does that better, so that's sort of why I would go there. So I'm not willing to compromise, but I don't think Xbox is a worse console, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, louder than bombs, exclusives. Exactly. That's the other thing I was gonna say. This is like so many games on PlayStation that I've been like, oh, this is money. Like, I bought, a Nintendo Switch basically just for Breath of the Wild. Totally worth it. I played a bunch of other games. It ended up being a wonderful console, but Breath of the Wild made that console worth buying. There are games on PlayStation, at least like initially, I think it was God of War actually. Just I don't know. I've played a lot of games on PlayStation, a lot that were exclusive. That is like this was worth it. I've been in this camp for I feel like 10 years, so I don't even remember what games apply to which system. Caleb says personally, I couldn't. I've been playing PlayStation since PS2. My account is mad old, dude. That's sick. I respect the old the old stuff. I'm gonna try and actually catch up to the chat a little bit quicker so you guys can interact with me. Sorry, this is my first time, so I'm figuring it out. And then I'm the same as you, Caleb. By the way, I've had a PS2. And then Colin said, "Neither am I, dude. But it seems like the PlayStation is the way to go. Never had one before, but wanted to try something new. They're just available right now, you know." Yeah, super available, dude. um, yeah, just so accessible, so easy to find, right? That's why we're all here. But yeah, Louder the Bombs. I think that's supposed to be Breath of the Wild. I don't. Maybe it's like Breath of Fart Wild, but who knows? Yeah, I think the exclusives is another big one. So I don't. It's just PlayStation does for me what I need it to do, and so it's hard for me to decide to change that at this point. So I don't know. That's my feeling. But just in case anyone besides, thank you for the people that are here. Again, I don't know how any of this shit works, but I think liking the video helps more people find us. So do that if you wouldn't mind, if that's easy. Would you go to March/April? Like, would I wait until March/April? Without one. Oh, before getting. Would I go? Honestly, like, I've turned this into a fucking hobby at this point, so I'm gonna try and get one as soon as possible. And the main reason I want to is so that when I do this shit, I don't have to worry about getting one at the same time. Because it's really, like, kind of scary when I was doing this earlier. I was like, oh shit, like, PlayStation Direct might go live while I'm live streaming, that I need to get my thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I am not going to wait that long if I have a choice in the matter. We'll see. I'm not going to buy from a fucking scalper, though. Not doing that shit. Louder than bombs. No problem, dude. We're coping hard right now. Fucking truth. Truth. I mean, honestly, for me, this is a version of my coping. Yeah, facts. If I'm spending $400 to $500, oh wait, I know. I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but you'll see like these random bundles go online that are just like way outside of what you told yourself you were gonna spend on PlayStation, and you're like, $840. I guess like maybe I'd play those games. Possible. It's like no. It's like I don't. There's so many of those games in the bundles and shit that I don't want, but I'm just so desperate to have the quest be over that I'm like literally considering almost paying double. At that point, it's like you might as well buy it from a fucking scalper. Actually, no, never buy from a scalper. I lied. What's your max money you'll spend? Let's get through it. Yeah, honestly, it's a valid question, right? Because if you asked me that before this whole bullshit started, I would have been like $550, and I would have said it real smugly, like I could have done it. I have 3 charges on my card that have now been reversed because life is cruel. Uh, that are for over $600 every time. I did 2 of the Dell deals I tried to get for $627. So obviously 627 is within my range. And then I did, what was the other? Oh, Coles. No, two Coles. Excuse me, two Coles, one Dell. And I think the most I ended up paying was like, I think the Coles ones were like 730. So that was back when I was naive about how this all worked, and I thought to myself, if I buy two, maybe I can just give the other one or sell the other one or whatever, and then it's worth me buying this $750 console. It's like, haha. Like, you should know, if I was able to buy a console, then probably something is wrong because I'm a normal person, and by all accounts, doesn't seem like normal people are having much luck with that. So, how much will I realistically spend these days? I think personally, I'm gonna set it at like. I mean, it depends on the bundle, but for a normal bundle thing, like 650, like all I want is an extra controller, and I might get a disc instead of a digital. But if it was up to me, I'd get a digital with one controller. Some serious supply demand psychological effects happening right now. I didn't even care much before. Oh, totally, absolutely, Colin. I completely agree. It's like, yeah, we can't help but care because it's become this scarce resource. So we're all, I've literally never done anything like this. This has driven me. I mean, granted, there's also a global pandemic, but I totally feel you. I think there's a psychological component there too, where it's like really, what the fuck else do we have to do with our time? I feel like that's part of it. And then Caleb said, if I saw a scalper selling it for 700, it'd be tough to say. Honestly, I don't. I don't necessarily blame you. I don't know if I don't. It's an easy thing to say. It's harder when I imagine someone in front of me being like, "Do it. I'll give it to you. $700. Like that is that's. I don't think I would, just purely because I am a cheap bastard, and the reason I'm doing all this bullshit and following it, it almost feels like a concession. If I'm gonna be. But that's my situation. I think a regular person would do that. Yeah, yeah, Colin, I feel you. And I think obviously, it also depends on whatever your position is. I have some friends that wouldn't dream of getting it, and I have other friends that would be happy to pay a scalper price if it was something that mattered to them. So, um, yeah, I don't think I would go. If you're talking console, just console, I would not personally pay if it's at $100 depending on disc. So we'll pretend digital for the sake of this argument. I wouldn't pay more than like $600 after tax and shit. I guess 700. Yeah, I guess that's what we said, huh? Okay, fair enough. I did the emotional math, and it seems like we're in the same boat. Um, but yeah, I'm just really hoping I can get one like a regular person. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. But for those who are curious about Target, I don't know if anyone is still. If anyone says anything in the chat, I'm happy to direct it that way. I just want to cater to the people um, that are obviously putting in the time and effort to pay attention to me. Reframe the question: what's the most you would pay if that was the price forever? If it would never. Ooh, like what? Basically, what do I think it's worth? That's what. Probably. I mean, god damn, it's so weird because when I want to be like, oh, it's so crazy to try and go over $500, but then I like think about phones, and it's like, we drop a grand on a phone, and we're like, okay, yeah, it's just part of the way it is. So it's tough. I don't. We'll see what it is and what it does. I think up to $600 is where I would feel okay with it. Past that, I'm in the territory of feeling like it could almost buy a really shitty car, and that's worrisome. I don't want to I don't want to think that trade off exists. But I think probably up to 600. I mean, obviously it would depend on some other stuff, but like for me as a consumer, that's about the high level that I think I would pay for a gaming system in my living room, I suppose. Caleb says supply is also lower as everyone who doesn't even care for one knows if they somehow pull it, they can sell it and try hard. Yeah, probably a better word. Yeah, sell it to a try hard, probably a better word. Yes, and make double the money. I mean, that totally. I completely agree with that. Considering in the very beginning, I figured, oh yeah, no big deal. I could be one of those people. Who cares? And that was me thinking, you know, one console the first week of launch because I just assumed it would only be like a week of this bullshit, and that is not uh, obviously the case in any way, shape, or form. This is it seems like gonna be very much the reality into the beginning of 2021. I'm hoping we do see a much bigger drop coming towards December. Um, but again, I think the question is like, when are new units entering the supply versus uh, are we actually just all fighting over the same initially produced units? Because that changes a lot of the accessibility for normal people like us. It basically puts a lot more control into our hands as opposed to the corporations deciding how and when, reasonably so, they're going to put out their consoles to keep people buying and coming into their stores. I get it. They're businesses. They got to do what they got to do. So, um, but yeah, I agree. I think there are a lot of people who, especially like, here's an element of it. It semi applies to me. If you're working from home or at home all day in ways that you were not previously, it's like, what's the harm? Like, keep an eye on it. I'll sign up for a notification. But would those people normally be trying to get PlayStations if life was running like normal? I don't know. Colin says the thing is with the holidays, they have to get them out because there's a huge market this month that will disappear on January 1st. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that from the planning stage of how everything happened. I think they are totally prepared and planned to dump 95% of their inventory, if not all of it, by Christmas. I mean, it makes sense. Um, but I also think that the way this has gone with the demand, with the pandemic and everything, I think even with all that happening, there's still going to be a shit ton of demand into the new year. It just seems like demand is just so much higher than they were anticipating. I think that's really what it boils down to. Supply is decent. I mean, we're talking 2.5 million units. It's not a small number, but I mean, we wouldn't be here if it was easy, right? Colin said, Caleb said facts. Colin says, so it's in Sony's interest to get all their supply out ASAP. Yeah, I mean, their initial supply, I would assume, was entirely sold. They know. All these retailers know. This is like, this is when you make the money. Christmas. They design their production schedules around these things being in stores for November, December. Like, and you'd be a fool not to. But, like, that's when you and I, normal people, spend our money. I literally don't spend much money on superfluous things until December comes around, and all of a sudden it's like $400 is gone that I told myself I wouldn't spend the previous 2 months. So, I get it. It makes sense to me. Um, so, yeah, I think we'll definitely see more, but I think the initial units were uh, all sold to retailers, PlayStation Direct. Like, I think that stock was spoken for within a week or two. But that's just my feeling on it. Who knows what's actually going on behind the scenes. Um, hmm. For the 5 people that are here, it looks like Colin and Caleb are at least 2 of them. Thanks for watching. Thanks, even the 3 nameless people. I appreciate it. This is the first time I've done this. I don't know, or person or lady or whatever. I don't know how you're allowed to talk about things on stream, what's legal. I think I'm allowed to say, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show. I'm drinking right now an Elysian Immortal IPA, who I am not sponsored by in any capacity, because let's be real, I got 7 people on the channel, so I don't think Elysian's going to waste their money in that regard. But thanks, Colin, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at too. My mentality for this, besides the fact that I think I do legitimately have some useful information from my own personal experiences of caring too much about this. But beyond that, like, if we're all just fucking sitting here staring at the same thing, like, might as well kind of interact. I don't know. It's just, to me, that's why I did it. It's like, this is stupid. There's literally 7, maybe right now, other people doing the exact same thing as me, just sitting here thinking about the same stuff. Well, why am I not interacting? So, but regarding, I think, what actually matters, PlayStation Direct, I think, is likely again for this week. I'm hoping for tomorrow. Everyone's going to keep an eye for it. I actually think it's worth going in just a little bit to PlayStation Direct strategy, because I've heard a lot of stuff, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. Because I've heard conflicting information. I got to a point where I literally, like, emailed the Q at corporate to be like, how the fuck does this work? And they responded, which is crazy. And not like customer service, like a guy. Like a real person whose name I had to black out because I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get in trouble. So I specifically just asked them, like, what role does the cookies cache thing have? Because I keep hearing, or cache, I don't know what people say, like, I keep hearing conflicting information. You know, if you get rid of them, then you register as a bot. But then if you have them, you might encounter obstacles. I'm like, I'm just trying to get PS5 out here. So I literally asked the dude directly. I can read it for you. I think it'll stay on my my face. I'll read you because it's on my desktop. So, where's our convo? Oh Jesus. Okay, I'm not sure where it is. Let's go into the Plant Dad email. I literally just started all this shit like 2 days ago. Because I'm at home spending too much time interacting with only myself. And it's like, you know, if you're going to talk to yourself, you might as well talk to real people, right? Okay, Plant Dad Chris, here we go. Back to the email. I'll tell the viewers of our exclusive stream, the person who responded to me, his name started with an M. Ooh, crazy. So the exact thing I asked him, here we go. I said, hi there, I'm a consumer who's failed to get the PlayStation and wanted to ask the following directly as there's a lot of misinformation. I tried to read the FAQ online, but I couldn't figure out how it applied to a direct consumer. What is the role of our cache/cookies in determining whether or not we are bots? I keep hearing conflicting information on whether or not to clear or leave them. I'm worried I'm unintentionally appearing as a bot by trying too hard. Is it possible to get a definitive answer on this? Thank you for your time, Chris. And then this nice person said, hi, Chris. You're all good to go when you see the queue page. You'll just need to wait for your turn. Just behave like a normal real human. No need to clear your cookies. It's a short answer, but it's an answer from an actual person that I'm not going to show out of respect for them paying attention to me. But he's a person with a face on his Google profile. So, like, it ain't no customer service. Like, this is a dude I could find on LinkedIn. So I don't see a reason that he would bullshit me. It seems more like he's just trying to throw me a bone. So, long story short, I don't think actually, like, clearing your cache and cookies is necessary unless you're encountering issues. If you're encountering issues, you've probably done what I'm sure I did at one point, which is, like, get a little too hyphy and spam the page, and it triggered me as a potential bot and started capturing the living hell out of me. Yeah, so, Caleb, to your point, this is my personal strategy on how I was going to do it today when I was hoping that it would drop. Um, I have heard still yet to get concrete information on this because, again, speculation, but you essentially get a unique lottery ticket for each request that you're able to put in that comes from a different uh, address in some capacity. I'm not sure if it's technically your IP address. I'm not super technical on that shit. But anyways, there are ways to essentially get multiple requests in while being the same person. So what I have heard, again, I was going to test it today, but I had going my Chrome normal without anything cleared, my Chrome incognito, just incognito, my Safari normal, which I don't really use it except for shit like this, and then my Safari private. And I wasn't on the actual screen, but I had the link in the address bar so that I could flip to it, hit enter, and start that process. And from what I understand, which I specifically like, a lot of this theory is based on what Linus Wilson on Twitter is reporting. He's an economics dude. He's very knowledgeable. A little maybe dry at times, but like very knowledgeable dude. He was saying that supposedly multiple browsers and both public and private are each unique requests. So I was hoping to get 4 requests out of that, and then doubling down, or I guess halving down, I was going to do a similar-ish thing on my phone for just Chrome and Safari, but I was going to do them both on private, just in case there's some overlap with the accounts or something. So, me taking it seriously today, like, I was going to have, hopefully, if the plan went the way it was supposed to, 6 unique requests into that as soon as, we heard that it went live. Which we did hear a couple times, but I have my opinions on that after I spent a bunch of stupid time learning how Qt works. I am fairly confident everything that happened today of everyone freaking out was just all us getting each other hyped. Like, the Qt system will automatically kick in if there are too many requests. I know people are saying, like, oh, yeah, no, they were testing their CAPTCHA. Oh, yeah, Colin, that is a very good point. The Walmart drops are really weird. Because from what I understand, because I went out to hunt those and then got other info that made me not hunt them. But they got some random units in store that people could buy in store. But everyone was finding them on third-party sites. So BrickSeek is the one that I used to look at the Walmart stock. For some reason, PopFinder doesn't seem to either support Walmart or like it isn't one of its like default ones. So I looked at BrickSeek, and I had BrickSeek. I had like 9 different locations near me show up saying that there were units in them, and I'm like same thing that happened today. I was like all jittery, fucking ready to go out the door, and then I was like, well, I'm about to drive like 24 miles. There's not a lot of Walmarts near me. Like I should probably figure out what the hell this actually means. So all of mine said limited stock, which, on the surface couldn't literally mean anything. I went into their FAQ. Again, who's to say how real this manifests, but this is what they have written down. The FAQ says limited stock means there's 1 unit in store, and that a lot of those times that unit belongs to as a display. Is that always true? There's a caveat under it that says sometimes on high demand items, it will show as limited stock, which is like, okay. So does any of it matter at that point if you're going to say that? I don't know. I heard about random in-store Walmart drops, so I ran one on Sunday. A person told me they sold all of them in the store the morning before. BrickSeek still showed. Dude, that's actually like, that's great info. Because that says a double down, like you can't just blindly run off of everyone getting super hyped from some number showing up on a random map you've never heard of. Which, if you're desperate enough and it's easy, it's not like a bad use of time, but okay. Caleb says, my theory based on literally nothing. means limited equals selling units, and when it says 6+, it's for online. Just my random idea that probably isn't true. I mean, I would love to believe that. I read their FAQ thing and it just said limited stock means one. We will put in stock if there's more than one. So, but again, it did have that caveat that said, you know, high demand items like may show as limited stock anyways. So I think the real debate there is whether or not, like, if Walmart wasn't even trying to sell these, if people were showing up out of the blue and telling managers, hey, I think you have these in the back, like, if they're that unprepared for them, why would they also be prepared enough that they're marking things as limited stock? It just seems like a contradiction in the level of awareness there, but that's just my opinion. Colin says, clearly the corporate mandate is not to sell in person, but some rogue stores are, and it's contributing to the psychological problem of no sort of rule/structure to this game. I've been limited and in-stock stores, and all were sold out and say it's online only. That's honestly respect, man, because I encountered my own version of that struggle, but I completely agree with you. I think the real reason this is chaos is because you are seeing individuals or individual stores either breaking protocol or like not understanding protocol. And as everything happens, if you're one of the people plugging into this community, one little thing you light that fire and everyone spreads it. Earlier today, everyone's like, "Oh, yo, fucking Amazon Canada can ship it to you." It's like one city in like the entire U.S. they would ship to or something like that. So I completely agree with you. I think it's a few stores pop off in random places, and then those wins go viral basically, and it's like, it takes off. So Caleb said, "Yep, my mom stopped by Walmart in store Sunday, and they said they sold them all on Black Friday." Yeah, it's like, what's the point? Oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah, I've completely written off Walmart. For me personally, I also don't have a lot of Walmarts super close to me, so to like go out and try and get one out of Walmart is to commit a decent chunk of my day. Whereas like, Target, I was able to hit 2 targets in like an hour. So I definitely personally I'm just like, fuck Walmart at this point. Be great, love to get a console from them, but there's a reason they call it Botmart. Yeah, I'm in Seattle, so Pacific Northwest, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time, which is part of the reason anytime they do the PlayStation Direct stuff, uh, I'm like, I feel like I understand the mentality of these people because we're looking at a similar sun. But you know, it's something. I know some guys who work in my local Walmart Electronics, but I feel bad asking him about it. I never talked to the guy otherwise. Yeah, no, I feel that. Oh, those moments where you're like, how can I interact with this person for a specific reason? The only reason I care about interacting with them. But at the same time, I don't want it to appear like that's the only reason I care about interacting with them. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I yeah, I imagine it's somewhat like winning the lottery, where all of a sudden people just come out of the blue and they're like, "Ah, how are you? That's so great. Like, so, I heard maybe." Like, yeah, no, something tells me if that dude had access to it, guaranteed he would have given it to people that wouldn't have had to think about texting him already. But more likely than not, like most of these people, that these associates don't really know that much more. I'm sure, like Colin's great example. Went to different WalMarts, got totally, I mean, technically the same message, but different explanations for why and what. Yeah, I don't really, I don't it's going to result in success. So we'll see. I'd say just pay attention to PlayStation Direct, especially this week. We'll see what happens. I am, at least the next time I try, I am going to jump in the queue as soon as it is live. Not doing that last time, definitely did not help my cause. Whether or not it is ultimately what decided whether I got something, I'm not sure. Caleb says, if I worked at Walmart, I would just tell my fam the minute I'm aware of PS5 stock and have them pick a couple up. For fucking sure. That's what I'm saying. I was talking to literally nobody earlier. Yeah, that's what I said. But agreed, Colin is right. Target is kind of what matters. But I think your point, Caleb, for what it's worth, applies to every single one of these stores. You have to think about the regular people that are there who are many times just like us. I mean, if you had first dibs and you knew you could flip it for $500, and let's be real, you're working in a retail store right now during a global pandemic. You're not rolling in cash or you wouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, I think it's a reasonable point. But with Target specifically, what I think we're going to see is I think we're going to see stock go live in individual stores at random times over the next 24 hours. I think that's the most probable thing from what's been happening. The hard part about that, obviously, is it's by store. So it's confusing. I just keep checking my app every half hour or so. It's not a technical way to do it, and that's the thing that kind of worries me about Target. Is I think the way their system is set up, it's pretty exploitable. Well, I mean, you have to pick up, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure the strategy on that. Colin said the biggest black box right now. Yeah, they're sitting and prepped on a bunch of stock. Advertiser drop, but no sense of when things are going to happen. That's the last thing you want to happen. Yeah, no, me too, man. I mean, I agree. Target is literally, as someone who went there today, I can tell you, I looked at PS5s behind the case, and they were like, keep an eye out online. Like, okay, 6. You get back in your car, and you're immediately like, anything changed? No. So, yeah, I think they're going to go live. I'm really skeptical on how much of it goes to real people. I would think if you're someone who is bot savvy, which many people are, I mean, not obviously a ton, but enough, wouldn't you try and get some of your friends or whatever in on if it needs to be a pickup? I mean, maybe there's easier ways to do it so you don't even waste your time with it, but any system that doesn't have some version of queuing, I'm going to assume is going to be exploited by bots in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure how in-store pickup plays into that. Like, if I think you could probably pretty cheaply pay somebody to drive all the way around and pick up all his PS5s if you were trying to be real shitty about it. Like, it's possible to have a bot put in an order at 30 Targets and have someone drive around all day and pick them up. Is that gonna happen? I don't know. I'm just considering worst case scenario, but I just worry. It's just if there's no bot protection, I don't see why bots wouldn't end up exploiting it. But a small point of hope in that is because we don't really know anything. Maybe it means more regular people I guess how regular are you if you're paying attention, right? Like, I'm not a regular average person right now. I'm literally talking about it. Colin, still, if each store has 20 or so, that's not very much. Looking at the lines that are forming on baseless rumors at 6 to 7 a.m., bots or no bots, competition is insane. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an excellent point, too. It's like, me in Seattle, right? Like, I just don't expect to get one, because there are literally thousands of people that live in between me and that store, and the store's not that far away. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there's a lot of things that are happening how much of it is like bots versus normal people, depending on the company, depending on the online, depending on all that. Yeah, it's questionable. But yeah, I mean, like, it's been a shit show for the most part. It's, it's a bummer, but also going to an store Target, I wouldn't want to get robbed or something after I'm in the parking lot. Yeah, did you guys see that video that went viral? That shit's fucked up. Which, my gut says if I know about it, they probably got caught because that's a pretty big you got a pretty big footprint if some dumbass hipsters in Seattle are paying attention to you. But yeah, there's if you haven't seen it, there's a video of someone just like him and his friend robbing someone in a GameStop parking lot for the PS5. It's really shitty and it's very frustrating if you're someone who is having a hard time getting one. So yeah, man, that I don't know. I think we're all kind of grasping at straws at this point. It's like maybe Target, maybe PlayStation Direct, maybe Sam's Club, maybe Costco, maybe Best Buy. I mean, the real shit is if you want one, what's happening is you're just staring at any possible channel to get it when you have time to do so. You know, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. I think Target. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, the pickup means that more normal people like us are gonna get them. I don't know. I would prefer that. That would be great because I'm one of those people. I had a semi tough time. Maybe you guys are smarter than I am, but trying to figure out how to check all the stores at once on the app because it is, from my knowledge, and I think most of the community agrees the Target app is superior, if at least you're a person, for bagging a PS5. So I've been trying to check multiple stores, and you have to you basically have to find it and go to this little change store thing at the bottom, and then it'll bring up all the stores. I know it sounds really simple, like no duh, but I didn't know for a while, and I was changing my store manually, and it took a very long time. So, Colin, Target app is confusing me. Yeah, no, me too, brother. Caleb, my closest Target is 25 to 30 minutes away, so I'm probably missing a surprise job. Can Target app just check local store? I think it by default checks just your local store. I don't. It's hard because, right, the thing with these is they're all pickup. So it's not going to be like a normal Target product where they're going to offer it from multiple stores automatically or multiple channels or whatever because obviously people are filtering by where they're willing to actually drive to. So I'm not super familiar on the interface if it is truly smart enough to say like it's in stock here and not in here. I mean, I guess like I can find a product and try that. But at least for the PlayStation, it doesn't automatically check anything but the store that you're set to unless you manually say like look for other stores essentially while you're in that product page. I was trying to change my store and then the product, but you have to change your store within looking at the product to see inventory of other stores. It's a minor thing, but it saved me a lot of time from checking the 14 Targets that are within 50 miles of me. All of which are out of stock. It's just like out of stock. So, we'll see. I'm not sure if that changes. The thing I'm like a little worried about, which I don't really know what's up with it, but like, right, the first dude I went to, the store that's like down the street, but they said like, oh yeah, they're here. Oh, go to sleep, Caleb. Thank you so much for talking and interacting with me. I guess people like and subscribe and shit. Like, honestly, do whatever. I'm not doing it for money. I'm just hanging out. But if you guys ever want to talk again, I'm gonna be doing this like every day. So I'll be around. Yeah, thanks, Colin. I appreciate it. Thank you for interacting with me. You guys are like the first people that have actually interacted with me. So that's really really dope. No matter what, I wish you the best of luck in trying to secure a console. Thanks Thanks for contributing. It was cool to have someone to talk to tonight. I spent an hour talking mostly to myself last night, so. All right. Best of luck, man. Good vibes. Oh, God. I really didn't want to be one of those people that was saying good vibes all the time. And because let's be real, I look like the fucking good vibe dude. But yeah, it sounds like our two main contributors are probably heading for their own greener pastures, which is totally fucking chill. If the other people who are viewing are actively viewing and have a preference, let me know. But the reality is, at the moment, not a lot happening in the PlayStation world, unfortunately. PlayStation Direct is not going to happen today. And Target, it seems like, is going to happen per store. So that may or may not make your life better. It may not. I don't. I personally am not holding out a ton of hope for it, but as I said earlier in the stream, I did physically go to two Targets today, and I did literally get right next to some PS5s. So, they feel, I think from an emotional level, they feel closer because I physically saw them. But in theory, I'm probably farther from a Target PS5 than I am from a PlayStation Direct PS5. We'll see. I would love... actually, I don't know if I want that to be wrong. I don't really care. I'll take it from wherever I can get at this point. But PlayStation Direct, just keep an eye on it tomorrow, guys. That's the biggest thing you can do. Don't go to the page itself, though. Just like, you can go every once in a while if you want, but if you can't, it's going to register you as a bot. If you accidentally register yourself as a bot or you're worried about it, clear your cookies and your cache. I don't know. People get weird about the CH pronunciations. But I literally, as I said earlier in the stream, I emailed Qit corporate, and a guy with an actual name and a picture in his Google profile responded to me. So, he told me you didn't have to worry about clearing your cookies. Just quote, I believe the exact quote was, just act like a normal human. Let's see if I can find that one time. Yeah, whatever. I think it's just act like a normal human. Anyways, so if you're trying to get one on PS Direct tomorrow, I think the best thing you can do is really think about how many tickets can you get in at once to hopefully get you at a good place in line. That's the most important thing there. When it comes to Target, the steps are pretty basic. You need to go to Pop Finder. You need to check, see what units are around you. If there are units near you, you want to keep an eye on either your Target app or Target Online and see when the stock updates, because those units that are in Target stores are only for sale for pickup, but they have to be bought online. So it's the worst of both worlds. Good shit. I don't know my four lovely viewers. I don't know how active anyone is here, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have a direction or questions, feel free, ask them, or if you just want to kick it, interact, I'm right here. I'm not going to say I'm happy to talk to myself, but I am completely comfortable doing stream of consciousness, talking about my PlayStation thoughts and what are the best strategies for Target versus PlayStation Direct and getting one this week. But if you decide you want a specific question or an answer, I'll do my best to answer it. So, again, like we said, Target's honestly like the easy answer, because Target's like, yep, just keep an eye on your app. Your store is going to be different than my store, and you probably don't even have one store. But past Target, PlayStation Direct, I think the best strategies, my opinion, you want to maximize your number of requests that are considered unique. How to do that is debatable. I will share to you the strategy I was going to try today before nothing dropped. But essentially, you get, as far as I understand, devices have their own they're their own first branch, if you will, and then from the individual device. So for me personally, it would be my phone and my computer. Each one of those, a browser is another branch. So in theory, a Safari and a Chrome on here, and a Safari and a Chrome on there. That's considered 4 different requests. From there, again, this is all of us speculating on best practices. Uh, you can have a private and a public browser for each of those. So if you're crazy, in theory, you could get like 3 browsers. Like if I wanted to be nuts about it, I could get 3 browsers. I could get like Firefox, Chrome, and Safari on this, Firefox, Chrome, Safari on that. Get a page public and get a page private. Oh, Genel's still here. Yo, what up? Wow, I didn't realize you were still here. That's awesome. Hey, wow, thanks for staying this long. Uh, I had my cell phone, my daughter's cell phone, and my laptop all logged in on Best Buy when they dropped. Yeah, that's like basically what you got to do. I know I naively in the beginning was thinking like, oh, 1 or 2, or if I'm quick, like whatever, I should be able to get it. No, if you're serious about getting one from PlayStation Direct, you want to make sure that you are trying to hit that system with as many individual requests as you possibly can. Definitely good advice to have multiple things logged in at once. Yeah, totally. Um, it's ideally the more unique requests you can have, it's another place in line. So the last time I was personally in it, I had a private browser, a public browser, and my phone. So I had 3. It was all within Chrome. So I didn't mess with the browser stuff, but I did do the public, private, and the device stuff. And they were all, for the most part, as far as I could tell, all at slightly different times. They seemed to have entered the queue in the order in which I got through the CAPTCHAs. So I don't, from what I understand and what most people are reporting, it does seem like first come, first serve is at least the dominant mechanism. Whether or not first come, first serve is the only mechanism is certainly up for debate. But I would say it's pretty sure. So to Tom the Bomb, the PS Direct drop did not happen today. Happened yesterday. Most of us are speculating that it's a very good chance to happen this week. Most of us, I think, are expecting it to happen tomorrow. My experience with PS Direct is they generally drop. I'm on West Coast time, so Pacific Standard Time, which is the same as Sony. They usually drop between what seems like 11:30 and 3:30 p.m. I think maybe they've deviated from that once or twice, but for the most part, they almost always drop in like, if I had to guess, it's people coming back from lunch and they're ready to take on this bullshit. Like, that to me is the most logical way to think about it, because ultimately these are people. These things are not scheduled. These are people deciding when they're ready to take it on. And it seems to me, I don't think PlayStation Direct has ever dropped before lunchtime. Is it a coincidence? I don't know, but that's my theory on it. I don't think they want to take it on before they've had lunch. They're real people. But PlayStation Direct, we're hoping for tomorrow. I was talking strategies on basically how can you increase your chances. The simplest answer is you want to be paying attention and you want to have as many requests in at once that are considered individual requests. So the best ways that we understand to create sort of unique requests are different browsers will do it and different devices will do it, as well as different private versus public within those browsers. So people reference incognito a lot. I think we've almost like Kleenexed that word into meaning a private browser, but those are the same if that's not clear. It's just a private incognito whatever browser is one that clears all your cookies and cache every time you exit it. So essentially it's kind of like a clean slate. I don't know. You 4 people probably already know that stuff, but just in case you don't. The other thing that's good to know, so there's a Twitter is probably honestly your best bet for keeping an eye on when things are going to go live, like to the second. I'm one of those people that like never use Twitter. I literally have been completely off social media until basically a couple weeks ago. And just being here and doing this and seeing people reporting on it and being like, "Hey, I want to talk to other people. That sounds cool." Um, so we'll see what happens in the long run of like where we can buy it and what anyone in particular can do. But like, I'm just hanging out here, just trying to figure out how to get the PlayStation, just trying to figure out maybe what are the best strategies. Again, I don't know anything for realsies, so I'm doing my best. I'm gathering it from the people that are on Twitter that are talking about it. The ones that I would tell you to follow for like actual like things are happening in the moment. Um, what we would consider maybe the mecca or the umbrella of all video game deal alerts is a guy called Wario 64. Um, Biggest caveat with him is he's the deal king, so you're gonna get a lot of stuff from his feed that probably isn't what you're interested for if the only thing you want is a PlayStation 5. Um, I need to look at the exact. I'm trying to get my shit up and going, but I'm not gonna bullshit you guys and tell you to follow something that I don't quite have ready up to the second yet. I don't have it. I'll be doing this kind of stuff, but so there's a guy named Linus Wilson on uh, Twitter. He's a good one to follow. He's gonna post a lot of stuff, partially about people just like getting their consoles. So if you don't want your phone ringing on notifications, that seems to be a pretty constant in the community. I'm not sure. I'm not sure honestly if there's any Twitter users that are just doing this is live, this is not live kind of stuff. But you can sort through what makes sense for you. The Twitter users that are actively reporting this though on a daily basis are Linus Wilson, um, Cheeto Gaming YT, Showtime Pro number 4, Spiel Times SPIEL, and then a handful of things with random PlayStation names. Oh, a guy named Jake Randall. He's probably the most famous person doing this. Oh, Tom the Bomb says, "Do you have any tips for finding them in person at local stores? I feel like I've got a better chance of that than in online order." Um, it's kind of tough because it really is going to depend, unfortunately, on the store and the location. Um, I think probably the best overall tip for in-store stuff is that there's a lot of third-party apps or websites, whatever, that are queuing or recognizing the inventory before it is live for people to buy. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Is I have a pretty good, you know, we know Target's probably going to go down because a bunch of those units showed up in those third party apps. They're not for sale on the websites for the most part, as far as I've seen, but they're showing up in these channels that say they're there. Seems like if you know how long the store will hold them, then after a drop until someone doesn't pick it up, if you go that day, then you can get one someone pre-ordered and chose not to pick up, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I've heard about that. I think so. We kind of have to delineate pretty clearly between, are we talking about buying one like in a store, uh, walk in, you don't have an order, versus buying online and picking up in a store. Like, the Target example I think rings pretty true here. All that stuff is going to be bought online. It's all going to be an online experience, but people are using the tools, the same tools we use to go in person and buy them. Those are the tools that are also being applied to online. So it's because of this sort of backdoor way that we're keeping an eye on inventory. You don't always know ahead of time whether that inventory can even be bought in the store itself. So you kind of have to pay attention to the specific retailers. What I've heard as far as like ear to the ground stuff, Walmart seems to be, for better or for worse, kind of a shit show. Um, for better, I think for normal people, it seems like a lot of people were able to do walkouts from Walmart that were not supposed to be there. they had zilch marketing campaign for the in-store stuff. They never said anything about it. I don't even think they made a public statement about it, but thousands of people were going in stores and buying them because things were showing up on these third-party websites. If you don't know those third-party websites, so specifically for Walmart, I think the best one is one called BrickSeek, spelled the way you would think. And then the one for Target and for Best Buy is called Pop Finder. So those are probably your best tools to keep an eye on. Is there going to be in-store inventory? Because it's going to hit there before it's even live on those websites. But at the same time, that number does not tell us whether or not those are going to be actually in-store pickups. But I agree with, I have no idea how to say your name. I'm sorry, Ganold. Maybe it's worth having it just to watch me struggle pronouncing it. Anyways, there's a lot of people that got the open box consoles for some reason. It happened. It's certainly possible. The biggest thing with them is it's so fluky depending on the store that I don't know if it's a strategy you can bank on. I mean, the real shit is if you want to maximize your chances of getting one, you kind of just have to be like grinding every day. It's annoying, it's stupid, and it involves a lot of failures. But if like even if I was that serious, which I'm not going to go out and drive to retail stores every day. I've already done it a couple times this week. I get different answers with the same result, which is basically you're not walking out with a PS5. So I'm banking on online. I think PlayStation Direct is the best bet. I realize that's really hard for some people if you don't work a job or you're not in a position in some way, shape, or form where you can just turn to a computer. Like, obviously PlayStation Direct is not going to be in your favor, but if you are, which, statistically there's a lot more of us in this position than traditionally, if you are in a place where you can touch a screen and interact with it pretty quickly, then PlayStation Direct is probably going to be the best bet. I think, we will see. It's the 1st of December right now. We got a lot of time until Christmas. The good deals, the Christmas stuff isn't even going to come out quite yet. They're not going to wait until probably second week of December to start really hyping stuff. Because right now we're still in that weird twilight zone of Cyber Monday, Christmas. There's not really an easy hype to throw on it. Whereas I think, everyone's reporting it in some way, shape, or form. December's going to be a lot better month to try and get a console than November was. The hope is it gets so easy that it's not even a problem, but I don't see that happening just looking at the way things have been going so far. The sad reality is, no matter what the product might be, the fact that there's scarcity and people willing to spend twice as much for something at its normal retail price means people that don't care about this are going to exploit the system. So I think until we get to a point where, I don't know, you can just buy one online normally, I don't think it's going to get easy. I think scalpers are still going to make this market hard for us. The demand is just so high. I wouldn't have done this for anything else, but here I am. So it's hard, but again, I think what's important is if you're just looking forward to this week, what's your best bet in trying to get one? If you have the luxury of being able to switch to a browser or computer wherever you are, it's going to be ready for that PlayStation Direct. No offense to anyone here. I think Genold's the only one that I know for sure is talking to me. Maybe Tom and Bob's still here. But the PlayStation Direct has a tell, or has at least in the past, and it's the same tell that did play out. It's at least played out consistently 4 times. So I'd say it's pretty. You could call it more of a tell than just about anything else in this fucking saga. Um, it's doing the thing where when you go onto the generic PS5 hardware landing page, it goes to the top instead of the bottom. A guy named Showtime Pro 4 was the first person to report that. I want to give him all the credit. He's the one that made me aware. But I think the most important part about that is, we actually do kind of have a cue on when we're starting to enter a territory of something might happen, which compared to a lot of these other sites is more bankable than just about anything else we've dealt with. So that's why everyone was hyphy for yesterday. That's why everyone was hyphy for today, is because that landing page is still exhibiting the behavior that it does when they are trying to sell units or there's active inventory that's going to hit the stock. So obviously that didn't happen today, or maybe not obviously if you weren't able to track it, but for me and for anyone who is hopefully not here at the beginning of this, no offense, yeah, it's probably not going to happen today. But tomorrow, I think there's a good chance, maybe Thursday. If I had to bet, actually, I'm not gonna make these bets. I think it would be fun if they did Wednesday and Friday. I could see them doing a semi every other day schedule. I think in general, if we as a community are going to be paying attention to PlayStation Direct, I think we should not be expecting consecutive day drops. I don't think that's going to be a normal behavior, especially for December. I don't think they have the supply to deal with that, on top of the fact that it's just a major headache to deal with us all, blowing up the internet trying to get our hands on one. So, I would love if it would drop on Wednesday and Friday this week. That would be sick. But I think if you are trying to hedge your bets on what's most likely for that, I think it's a 95% chance it's gonna go live one more time this week, and I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow. Many other people will be too. Feel free to tune in, whatever makes sense. Past that though, what's going on with Target? If I didn't say earlier or you weren't here, it's store by store. It's unfortunate, but it means there is no consistent. There's no one strategy that's gonna work. Some people have reported being able to buy them. I went to 2 of my Targets today, and my 2 Targets said that they were physically there, but they were not able to be purchased. They had to be purchased online and picked up, but they weren't in the system yet. So, sort of a big SOL on that. Not much I can do from there. But what that does mean, though, as one of the guys told me, is like keep an eye on the inventory, because it could go live, and they expect it to go live in the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll do some research on my own time and see if I can't figure out how some of these like BrickSeek pop finder sites work, because obviously there's some global system they're plugging into. I would assume if Walmart and Best Buy and Target had a choice in the matter, they would not display that information. Oh, yo! What up, Mega Dream? Hello. Mega Dream was the first person to ever make this a two-way thing. Yo, what's up? Nice to see you, man. We're just talking, we're talking PlayStation stuff. I'm not sure how much you know or what you're looking for, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any, because I know you are capable of talking to me, so that's cool. The short answer for today is just not much going on in the PlayStation department, unfortunately. But tomorrow or the day after is very likely for PlayStation Direct. Expect it to drop, I would guess, during 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's the window it's been in almost every time. So I think that's what you should. Look at. best way to maximize your chances, like we said earlier, as many individual requests as you can put into it. Things that create requests are your browser, your device, private versus public on said browser. So, oh, hey, dude, it's all good. I'm about in the same boat. I've just been kind of drinking beer and just talking to the people that are talking and doing my thing. So it's great to see you. I wish I need to work on a better setup. I don't really have a way to see. I guess I can actually I can put your feed up on. It can't be seen in the stream, but I can put it up here so I can see it because I'm watching live streams behind me. So I'll do that. I'll get you a viewer there, player. I'm excited to see how shitty this very confusing delayed interaction is going to be, but we'll give it a shot. But yeah, I mean, again, if anything outside of Target and PlayStation Direct, we don't know about. Like, it's going to be random. It might happen. I've talked about Anton Online in a couple of these streams. If you're willing to buy a bundle, Anton Online is great to follow. It seems like a lot of real people get consoles from them, whether or not that's just because they're active on Twitter and engage with the community, or because that's actually what happens is up for debate. But they have been really reliable for anyone who's willing to spend. I think the bundles are at least $700, so you kind of gotta buckle up for that if you're gonna do it. But if you like them, they're a good one. They're gonna keep putting out stuff through the second week of December, or at least that's what they said. So that's funny. We got like a bunch of people moving around the small streamers. Hey, I'll take it. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to think of what else matters. Walmart, like, if you're trying to track Walmart, just so you know, you're never going to buy anything online from Walmart unless they announce that it's going to drop at a certain time. And even if they do, it's probably going to get eaten by bots. I don't like it any more than you do, but that's just the reality. Basically no one is getting it from Walmart. So I'm not banking on Walmart. I don't expect shit from Walmart. I would love for them to change that, but I don't expect it. Best Buy? I don't. I think we're definitely expecting shit from Best Buy, but I don't think we really know. Best Buy is definitely in the dark. There's nothing, as far as I know, that is concrete about that. The most concrete retailer we have besides PlayStation Direct is Target, and that's still, thousands of consoles in random states and random stores. So, yeah, the Walmart drops were so disheartening, especially when they rope you in with like 3 or 4 drops in one day. I know. And so they keep you coming back, where they're like, we're gonna have more stock at 6. You're like, I mean, I don't even know at that point if that's even helpful for normal people. I feel like it's easier for people to just carve out a single 10-minute chunk of their time to be like do or die, as opposed to feeling like you have to jump over. Yeah, oh dear is right. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to. I've got some fun ways to make some memes that I want to make about oh dear. But yeah, we'll see. I think we're hoping Target's gonna go live. Again, like I've said multiple times on this, I do not believe Target is gonna go live at one time. It's possible, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think best case, realistic best case, so hedged best case, it goes live by region. And that's still, we're talking within miles of each other, not like states. But that one's really going to be touch and go. PlayStation Direct is just like, if you're on Pacific Standard Time and it's after 11 a.m. before 3:30 p.m., like, just be ready to make a move. My advice, again, if you want it to the second, which unfortunately is the way a lot of this bullshit has to go. Oh, yeah, Mega Drive. I feel you. you just got to follow a couple of people on Twitter. There's a lot of people doing it. Some post more than others, so it just depends on what you have a stomach for. But again, Showtime Pro 4 is the first person who discovered this little PlayStation hack thing. Pab Games is a good one. Jake Randall is a good one. Linus Wilson is a good one. Site Supply. All those people, they can be good. It's up to you on whether or not you want to be notified. Some of them do a little meanier stuff than others, so it's just kind of like, what's your capacity for alerts on your phone? But Mega Dream Pro said, yeah, how about that PS Direct earlier today? No, okay, so Mega Dream. I feel like I have some clarity on that, because I'm actually kind of annoyed that our community is thinking that it went live, because it did not go live. It never went live. The Qt system is an automatic thing. It will kick in if there's too much traffic to the website. So I think what happened, my opinion, but I think what happened is too many of us, because of the drop yesterday, were sitting there waiting and ready and desperate, and we managed to get the site to a point where it overloaded and started queuing people. Because it only started happening, and again, feel free if anyone has other evidence, I'm happy to hear it. It only started happening midday when everyone was getting antsy and we all started checking it like crazy. Like earlier in the day, 11 a.m. my time to noon, no one was reporting that stuff. It was like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. my time, which is pretty late when it started happening. And I think that's because everyone was starting to be like, well, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. So I don't think it ever went live. People are saying, oh, they're testing the CAPTCHA, blah, 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 blah. I don't think so. I think really everyone just got a little too excited, and we managed to trigger some of the built-in systems that throttled the traffic to the site. So, maybe it went live, but it's not like anyone had an add to cart button, so I don't think it went live. I think it's just literally that page is built to handle a million people targeting it at once. Yeah, so I was in that boat too, right? Like I had fucking 4 browsers ready to rock when they were like, "Oh, it's live, there's a queue," and I'm like, "I'm finally ready for one." Like I got so many ways I'm gonna do it, and I got the queue on 3 or 4 of the ways I accessed it, but all it was just like, oh yeah, here's the site to out of stock. So yeah, I think the community just got a little antsy and got a little frustrated and is jumping a little bit to conclusions and calling that it going live. I don't think it ever went live. It just, there's no evidence to suggest it actually went live, which is not the same thing as saying that it didn't have enough traffic to create a queue. That I 1,000% believe happened. I think it's exactly what happened. But again, that's just my opinion. But for what it's worth, I spent an hour watching a Qt webinar on how their technology works for the corporation, and it was quite dry. But it's pretty clear to me that it's a very robust system that they don't just toggle on or off. It's built into their structure of their site for sure. If for no other reason than just to make sure that people cannot take advantage of the site when people are not actively monitoring it. So, again, that's just my opinion on it. But I don't think it ever went live. I think it's always been sitting at the same place, but I think that bodes well for tomorrow. I think that, mark my words, if this same thing happens tomorrow, if they decide to launch the stock on Thursday instead of Wednesday, because it's possible, as I've said on this stream, we're all operating on this idea that we know the drop's going to happen because the landing page does something different, right? But we've all been talking about that for a week or two now. The same way that originally when this queue started, there was a way to bypass it by hitting escape at the right time as you loaded the page. You can't do that anymore. PlayStation didn't just think of that, right? Like they're watching. I mean, obviously they're not watching me because, hey, but the six of you that are, respect, awesome. Um, I'm just saying, PlayStation is adapting to the way people are trying to use the site. We've already seen it happen once. So I would love to believe stock is still coming online and the queue is still real. And, for all we know, maybe it's like a subtle nod to the community that they're okay with us knowing that. I don't know. But I just don't, yeah, I just don't think it's practical to believe for sure it's guaranteed to come through. Just grain of salt. But then again, if you're someone who's just trying to figure out what's my most likely way to get it, I would say PlayStation Direct. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm talking to myself again, but that's okay. Um, Other things that I think that matter. I don't know. I mean, again, I think just every store has a slightly different way to approach it. The things you have to keep your eye on are PlayStation Direct in the mid to late afternoon Pacific Standard Time, and then Target in the next. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be 24 hours. I don't expect them to let that inventory sit visible for this long without something happening. But that's gonna, you know, that's per store. So unfortunately, we're not gonna have a nice, robust system to deal with that. Yeah, but that's the majority of what's going on. I mean, I just it's unfortunately not a great spot to be. I'm right there with you. I am not one of those streamers that has a PlayStation 5 and gets to flaunt it in the background, saying of their success. I am sitting here following it with the intensity of someone who really, really wants a PS5. So uh, we'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen this week. I think you really just gotta follow a couple people on Twitter to make sure you're getting flagged on that. I'll eventually have my thing, which is gonna be plant data alerts. I don't have it yet, but eventually it'll be there. But yeah, so Target, we're gonna hope for the best. A good person to follow if you're not familiar. This guy on Twitter named Brian the Console Hunter. He has, I'm not sure exactly how he's doing it, but he has direct add to cart links that he finds or creates or whatever it is. They don't necessarily work for every retailer, but for some of them, they do. If anyone was unfortunate enough, like myself, to buy a console from Dell, that's a great example of what happens when you have backdoor add to cart. It's really, really quick. They had literally, I think, thousands of consoles bought way before they realized it, and then they had to cancel a bunch, like mine. But that's because we in the community got a hold of a link that I don't think we were supposed to have. That was an automatic add to cart, and it bypassed something that let people check out, myself included. So, would totally recommend Brian the Console Hunter. He seems to have these magic links that just about nobody else has. So, that's worth keeping an eye on for the retailers that are not like obviously PlayStation Direct. The If any retailer has an online queuing system in some way, shape, or form, as far as I know, there are no active hacks to bypassing it. There are ways to improve your chances, as we have talked about ad nauseum here. Happy to go back over them. If I'm ever being repetitive for the few people that are here, I'm not trying to be. I don't know who's new versus old and that kind of stuff. Like, oh, my boy or girl or person, whatever you identify as, Genold out here, just like you've been here for so long. It's amazing. It's great. I 1,000% thought at one point you left, so that's cool. But yeah, so we'll see what happens this week. I think especially for today, the only thing if you want to pay attention to something is going to be Target. But as I've been saying over and over again, um, one man's target is not the same as another woman's or non-gender confining person, whatever you might be. I live in Seattle. That's the way we think about life here. So, sorry. I'm trying to think of other things that are just worth. I mean, I'm gonna go over the strategy for one final time. Feel feel free if you've heard it before. Someone you can tell me, but the best way to beat parentheses PlayStation Direct is to maximize your number of individual requests into the queue, which, as we've said multiple times, is through different browsers, through different devices, and through a both public and private device, or excuse me, public and private browser. So they sort of branch. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? It's okay if people leave. That's fine, but I'm gonna get my whiteboard and I'm gonna start. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I wonder if the camera is inverse. If you're here watching me, you five, this is my second time streaming. So I don't really know how any of this stuff really works. So I don't even know if this is going to be, this might be backwards. Let's find out. Hello. Oh. Okay. So the whiteboard's going to work. Okay, I'm gonna get the whiteboard out here because I haven't figured out how to do the more fancy stuff. But I'm gonna get the whiteboard and we're gonna draw some stuff. And if anyone has literally any inclination of what they want to hear, I would love to talk about that thing. But if they don't, that's okay. I'll just keep talking. But this is my 1 minute intermission to grab my whiteboard and another beer, which I'm not condoning alcohol use. To each individual, it is what you choose to do in your own life and what makes sense for you. Oh yeah, baby! Okay. Alright. Let's see how many people. Oh, wow! Everyone's still here? That's crazy! Oh, no, there they go. Alright, that's fine. So it goes. Got the other beer. We're going to get the whiteboard out. We're going to hope, because I haven't drawn on this in a while, that, okay, cool. It's coming off. It's coming off. So I think this will be helpful for demonstrating the points. Oh! Yo, I'm kind of up in the clouds after puffing some clouds right now, but if you know what I mean. But this is my jam right now, and I hope you come back. Yeah, cheers. Hey, to each their own, brother, but uh, I don't know how any of this shit works. I'm not making money off this, so I think it's probably okay for me to say what I'm doing, but this is a Fremont. It's called a Space Rex IPA, and it's delicious. Oh, that's awesome. Yo, that's kind of who I want to be. I just want to be like a person that if you're sitting here keeping an eye on something, you just have like a place to check in to know like did shit did shit hit the fan? Should I know? So, oh, thanks, guy. Wow. That's really sorry. This is like the first time I don't know. This is the first time I felt like I was doing for something for somebody in this interaction. So it's a new experience for me. So thanks. I really appreciate that. um, but yeah, so I think, like just about everybody else here, just trying to figure out what the best way is to get a PlayStation. If anyone has a specific topic they want to hear about, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to share some random thoughts that I had on what I think are factors that are influencing this that we're not really talking about. And just so everyone knows, I'm not like a conspiracy guy. I don't, teach their own. I'm not saying you are or aren't right or wrong. It's just I'm a person who believes a lot in facts and evidence, which is why I do shit like email Q it directly. So to each their own. But I will tell you my thoughts on some of the big factors that are playing into this. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is making noise like that? Oh, is that my... That's my, like, subscriber thing. See, I don't even know how this shit works. Somebody just subscribed, I think. Wow, thanks, guys. Holy shit. It's yeah, I don't know how any of this stuff works yet. Thanks, though. That's really cool. I think somebody... I heard a terrifying noise that I think is my fault. But anyways, my just kind of random thoughts on things that are influencing this that we're not really talking about. If anyone has a more targeted question, I'm happy to... Oh, thanks, Philip. I really appreciate that. Obviously, I don't have this shit figured out enough to, like, show it. Oh! I heard the noise again. I don't even know how this works. Thank you. That's great. 2 people subscribed. It's not showing. Maybe if I go to the thing. Philip, I know you're one of them because you said it was me. So thank you. I really appreciate that. That's this is cool. This is just really cool. I've never. Again, I did this for an hour last night to no one except for Mega Dream Pro, who did watch me and was my first real interaction. So that was cool. Anyways, the factors that I think we're not talking about that are relevant. Wish I could subscribe again. Thanks, dude. I'm just doing my best out here. I'm not even in that place where I'm gonna like tell people to do it. It's not like do whatever makes sense for you. If you want to hear me talk, like I'll be around. I'm gonna be doing this shit because I live alone and it's quarantine and I spend too much time thinking about this. So, you know, if 6 people have a slightly better night because my dumbass is talking ad nauseum, like hell yeah, that's a win-win. But yeah, so I think a big thing that we're not talking about, or that matters, that we are talking about, but not totally connecting the dots, is like looking at how vulnerable certain ways retailers are launching products are to bots taking things. I would love to. I don't know this, but you know what? Now that I have people that care what the hell I'm saying, maybe I'll find out for tomorrow. I would love to know where we're seeing the most tracked or accurate bots messing things up. Oh, thanks, Philip. Yeah, I just posted on that one thing just because I last night didn't post it anywhere, and then only one person found me, so I figured maybe I should try. Obviously... Oh, that's great. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I don't know how the... Oh, wow, that's awesome. Thanks, guy. Okay, Reddit it is. Reddit is what I've been using the most for my whole life, because, I don't know, Reddit's not social media, but it's still a way to stay in tune. So, that's really cool to know that, like, Reddit is where these people are coming from, because I don't understand Twitter super well. I just started using it to track the PS5. Everything and anything I do on Twitter is PS5 related. But yeah, that's okay. I'll try. The main thing I don't know about Reddit for like what we're doing here is I'm not sure like where to post it and how to post it to be helpful, because I'm not trying to, I'm not making money off this. I'm not trying to like self promote. I just, if people are going to be sitting there thinking about it anyways, and I'm going to be sitting there talking about it, I would rather them be able to find me. So I'm just not sure, like, the best medium or channel in which I'm supposed to be respectful, but also say, like, I'm here. Because I don't want to, there's a reason I'm like, yo, if you want to subscribe, that's cool. But I'm not telling you, because this is not for... This is just for like us to hang out and have a place to talk and not feel so alone while we get shafted over and over again by all these retailers. Good stuff. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Philip. The Reddit time sync is a little too real. I don't know if you are using Reddit Enhancement Suite. It's it's a bit of a Pandora's box, so if you aren't, like, I don't know if it's really gonna make your life better. But I know for me, with the automatic load of scrolling, it's like so many times I'll make it down to like r/all like 400, and I'm like, where am I? What year is this? What? So Reddit Enhancement Suite is awesome, but just know it does infinite scrolling. So yeah, I feel you there. Reddit is it's super time sink. I wish I didn't like it as much as I did, but I think I don't know what your guys' personal positions are, but for me, as someone who's been a little bit defiantly anti social media, Reddit was like the happy medium of still like being part of internet geek culture without like pseudo selling out to like my ego. Um, but yeah, the double edged sword for that, like you said, it's definitely it works a little too well. Um, Similar to TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I never did, but my ex girlfriend did, and when we lived together, TikTok was it's like a little Clockwork Orange shit. You just fucking put it on. Anyways, so I feel you there. If anyone wants to talk about anything in particular, has a question, the 8 viewers I have, thank you. As I've told the people that are here already, if you want to like and subscribe, whatever, do it. I'm not doing it for money. I don't really care that much as far as like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be doing this regardless, so. Yeah. The reality is I'm going to use this stream to talk a little bit about just like, part of it's just quarantine coping like everybody else. And I hope some other people get that out of it too. But that ex that we're mentioning, which I know, not PlayStation, I promise it'll be a minute. I was living with her at the beginning of quarantine. So this whole living alone thing is a response to me moving out and breaking up with my girlfriend, but by my choice, so it's not like I'm a victim or anything. But that's part of what this is. I, especially with quarantine, have spent days at a time not actually talking to anyone. So, hey, so to answer the questions for Joe, I'm in Seattle. I feel like people expect me to be West Coast, which I am. Also worth mentioning, because this is apparently, I should have thought about this. Not that it matters, but I'm not vegan or vegetarian. I just like plants. That's all it is. Um, and then again, said, do this again on Friday, and we'll all just hang out, have a drink, be clowns. Yo, as long as quarantine's still happening, and I'm sitting here doing this, like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this almost every single night. So, if you're around, join me. If you're not, no big deal. I figure it can't get worse than yesterday, and I still made a friend yesterday. So, like, this is fucking sick. I already have enough people to have, like, a full-on hours of conversation, or at least interaction with. So, also, full disclosure, super sorry to anyone who is a little bit prudish. That's not going to be me. It's probably going to be smoking and drinking and cursing on this channel. Respectfully, with care and concern for all people and empathy towards the world and all living things. But, we're going to do our thing out here. But back to the topic at hand, so that the few, maybe one or two people here who's trying to find PS5 shit is like, fuck you, you hipster fuck. I don't think we're talking a lot about what stores actually have realistic chances. Obviously, we all talk about when there's going to be a drop, but like, if you guys don't know what Adorama is, don't worry about it, because there's no fucking point. But it was a thing that mattered yesterday, because they were a retailer that was technically dropping PlayStation 5s. Which, it's still up for debate whether it even actually happened, because if they went on sale so fucking fast that nobody saw it. So it's a little bit, tree falls in the forest and when they're here, like, did it actually happen? So I don't know. I think there's just a lot of retailers that were overhyped over any little drop we can get, which is reasonable. But I would love, which I have the capacity to do this, so maybe this is more of a beck and call to me, but uh, some sort of representation on the distribution of units between these retailers that we're paying attention to. There's a certain nature to the way we as humans perceive things that, we kind of always take most things at roughly the same level of validity until we process them and decide which direction they're going to go. For better or for worse, that's what happens. But when it comes to like these retailers, it's not really a perspective. It's not like, sorry, I'm going to get political here. COVID's a real thing. People are dying of it. You should take it seriously. But like, there are people that there's like debate because they see someone say that like COVID's not happening, that they think it's not happening. This is different because like we don't have to debate whether or not there are units in stores. They're physically there. We know that, I see my 8 units. But relative to say, right, I drove around Seattle today. I went to 2 Targets. I had at most, if I was a lunatic, 80 to 100 PlayStation 5s at my fingertips, if I somehow was able to get them to sell me one, which was never going to happen. So that's my in-person going crazy as much as I could get. What is that stock relative to like what went live on PlayStation Direct today? And of course it's like a no duh that they have a lot more. But the reality is the way we're talking about it and the coverage that we're giving it it's not necessarily the same. There's obviously some difference. But they're both considered like the big drops. Like I wrote both in the channel, right? But the reality is Target probably has at most, I don't know, 50,000 units around the US that may or may not go on sale. That's a really small number relative to the number of people looking for these. Whereas that's probably what's dropping on PlayStation Direct, if not more, every single time they go live. So I think there's like a level of knowing where to put your time that's worth it. Because unfortunately, this is turning into a real fucking thing where you have to like educate yourself and watch dipshits like me talk about it and do all that. But the reality is, I mean, that's where we are. So if that's the case, I think it's worth us being a little more intentional about like where we're putting our effort and our time. If you have the luxury, like myself at the moment, to follow all these things more closely probably than a normal human should, then like fucking go for it. Like I'm right there with you. But if you don't, I don't know. I feel like it's just worth people being a lot more realistic about the probabilities of normal people getting one versus like the Adorama maybe 500 went on sale. Even if they did, not a single normal person had proof of getting one. So to me, that's the biggest thing I wish we would be a little more critical about. I think it's a little bit like cable news where you got to keep people interested and on the hook. So some people have a tendency to overhype something maybe happening, but like I just don't think that's a practical thing for most people. It fucking sucks. There's a lot of people that do not have the time or the capacity to just randomly run around the city on a whim of maybe getting a unit. And I just personally get a little peeved sometimes of some people just encouraging that blindly when like it does have real consequence to some people. I think most people that don't have a cost to it are already doing it. So, just my opinion, but yeah, I think we should be talking more about who actually has the amount of stock that is worth paying attention to. Because I think it's PlayStation Direct. I don't know know about Walmart anymore because I think they have a lot, but I think they've done so shitty with bots that no normal people can get them. So I've written Walmart off. I think Target is definitely possible, but that's going to come down to right place, right time. And if you're new to that conversation, right place, right time is technically just the Target online, but practically is probably the Target app. So we expect, again, if you're new to this, there's Target units in store. I know that for a fact because I saw them today and I fawned over them from afar and didn't get any closer than the glass. They're there, so it's a matter of when are those units going to hit the system. The one homeboy that I talked to at Target today, which I said earlier in the stream, like he looked like me. So, say what you will, but I think in general we are not biased against people that ring familiar to us. I think he would have told me if there was a practical way for me to get one. And instead, he just kind of told me like, look, dude, our hands are tied. They're here, but we don't control when they go live in the inventory. And even when they do, we can't sell it to you from the store. We're just, they're just a distribution center for all intents and purposes, or a pickup center. So, Target, it's worth watching. We have totally tangible reasons to pay attention to it right now. Things have changed about Target in the last 12 hours that, were not there in the preceding week. So, yes, definitely worth paying attention to Target. But again, it's per store. So, here are direct links to the PlayStation Direct store pages, though I think it may block the link. Oh, I think it did block it, but thank you, Philip. Yeah, there. I think I can post them too. I have them in my notes. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know how closely you guys have been looking at it, but there's a lot of terrifying debates on oh my god, can you click it? Am I gonna get in trouble if I click it? Does that exclude me from going in? Because they're obviously they're trying to deal with people camping the page, or not people actually. They're trying to deal with bots camping the page. Thank you, Philip, though. I do appreciate you trying to send that. That's... I have been you in a stream before and been like, damn, I didn't realize can't just spam links. It makes sense, I guess. Maybe when people are looking at this in more mass numbers, I will, truly feel that. But, I get it. Otherwise, you'd have a bunch of random women showing up saying, hey, I'm so hot in your area. What are you doing? Classic, right? Fuck that shit. I don't know if that's worth it. I'm not gonna... Yeah. I know, some people have mods and stuff, but... Okay, let's see. I've literally typed the PlayStation Direct link enough times that I think I know how to literally type it. That's terrifying. /n-us. Wow, that's how you know you've been doing this a little too much, people. You can literally type out the link to the landing page. Alright, I'm still learning how to use the software, so I apologize. I have to sign into my own chat? That tells you how I know. What the fuck's going on here? That's funny. Okay. Alright. Here I am. Shebing bang. Boom. So, pretty simple, but that's the link to the landing page. You'll see other people will put, the disc or the digital, which in the beginning I was really, I was terrified about. I was like, oh, I don't know which one I'm going to get. Which, I don't know if you're like me, but I have now hit the point where I don't care. I'll take it. But it doesn't matter as far as I understand. Looking at the way PlayStation Direct worked yesterday, as soon as you hit, or once you try and access either page, it redirects you to a landing page and then lets you choose if you're trying to get digital or disc. All of that being said, if they are not selling digital or disc that day, it's not going to be there. Or even if you get in the queue, but somehow you end up maybe early or late, uh, there's no guarantee that the console that you're looking for is going to be there. Um, and I don't mean that as like obviously there's no guarantee if you get in the queue you're gonna get a console. It's just like yesterday, for example, which is why I think a lot of people were kind of hyped today. No digital dropped, and the digitals have been really, really hard to get, especially from normal retailers. I think the majority of them have come from PlayStation Direct. But yeah, they didn't drop digital yesterday, so everyone was thinking maybe it's gonna happen today, which it did not. If you didn't know that, it didn't drop today. But we're all getting kind of hyphy because the website is still doing the thing that tells us that stock is incoming. But I don't know if anyone's new to this, but if they are, don't worry about PlayStation Direct right now. They're on West Coast Pacific Standard Time. They're not going to do anything at a weird time of the day. Target, however, probably will. And not even Target corporate. It's probably going to be either maybe by store, maybe by region. Nobody's really clear, but I think it's safe to say there is not going to be a consistent way in which those come up. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I guess some other little tips and tricks on PlayStation Direct, just because I'm like you guys, I'm really trying to get it, and I have, whatever position in my life where I get to spend time to think about how best to do it. And yeah, it all really boils down to like timing and number of requests. Oh my god. Yeah, yo, Philip, that's the truth. When fucking eBay marked up is gone that fast, woof. Yeah, dude, ugh. It's just, I mean, honestly, this is helpful because the people I follow to pay attention to things going live, um, and this is no shade on them by any means, but they post their wins of the people that follow them, as you normally would. The same shit I would do if one of you was like, yo, thanks, Chris, I figured it out. I'd be like, fucking hell yeah. But if you're following those people just to figure out when the PS5 goes live, aka you don't have one yet, and your feed is just other people getting PlayStations, it's just, sometimes it's a little soul crushing. So, yeah, it's, unfortunately, I don't know. I think we're all kind of hoping in the back of our minds that there's a chance there's some big reserve of stock, or that maybe these retailers really were hoarding for. Hello, Snuffy. I see your thing. Hi. Thanks for joining the stream. Anyone who is here, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Like I have said multiple times, if you want to subscribe, do your thing, whatever. I'm just gonna be out here. I'm just honestly not trying to feel super lonely during quarantine, living on my own and spending too much time looking at the PS5. So I was hoping other people might get a benefit out of that. It seems like at least a handful have, so it's a fucking win for me. But yeah, like we were saying, PlayStation Direct, it's going to come down to timing and the number of unique requests. That's what I'm going to call them. I don't know what the actual appropriate term for that is, but unique requests you can put into the queue line, which is, as far as I understand, we still have plenty of debate on it, but as far as I understand, first come, first serve is the dominant mechanism at play for PlayStation Direct. So, again, there might be some randomization. It's worth knowing, even as someone who's going to be live streaming, with the way this shit goes, and this is probably the shit that you're not supposed to say, but that's how you know that I'm just here for, shits and gigs. There's a 10-second lag time in live streaming, which in most cases doesn't matter, but when it comes to hundreds of thousands of people chasing a product with a limited supply, it can matter. So again, I think if you're serious about hitting PlayStation Direct, which to me that would be my top place where I would think a normal person would be able to get one. The Twitter notification stuff from those few people are going to be probably the most clutch to getting in there quick enough. That's if you do not have the luxury of being in my position. If you do, which my position loosely meaning you can sit at a computer and have extra tabs open and switch between them at will, and there isn't a boss looking over your shoulder or someone who's going to get on your ass for it. I would do the strategy that I attempted today, which obviously I was not able to actually play out, but I was able to try it, which is something. Brief break. Here we go. Anyways, so like we said, people, it's time for the whiteboard. So excited to use the whiteboard. Okay, so PS Direct. Oh shit. Okay, well, two things I should remember. One, I haven't used the whiteboard in a while. Two, I have very bad handwriting. Fun. We're still going to try it. We're going to hope one of these markers does better than the others, but... Oh, hell yeah. Purple is going to take us home, people. The purple train. Which, great color. Love it. Okay, PlayStation Direct... what? I don't know. We're going to call them... Unique... requests. Oh wow, that's not readable. Okay, that's fine. This is just a small tidbit why I write this, but for what it's worth, I thought about doing this in the shower. That's why I thought about doing this, because I had that thought last night after I did this. So, it's just a little props to shower thoughts. If you don't know about Reddit or Reddit shower thoughts, it's worth your time. Okay, so how do you create unique requests? So they're kind of like a branch, which is ultimately what got me to bring out the whiteboard. Here we go. You can see, yeah, pretty shitty, huh? Told you it was bad. Philip said, sorry, I can't believe Amazon has had no drops. The size of a retailer they are makes you assume they're hoarding, but who knows? Dude, I have no idea what's going on with Amazon. Truly. My best bet, they got a big ass inventory and they are waiting until Christmas. I think they're trying to sell to people that are not us. I think they want to sell to the moms and people on Amazon Prime and that kind of stuff. I think they have a big inventory that they are definitely keeping close. This is, I live in Seattle, so I would like to think I have a slightly more tune with Amazon than the average person in the U.S. I, at one point, without revealing too much, had the opportunity to potentially work there. They are very intentional about everything they do, and they are very adaptable. Very. So, I could completely see Amazon intentionally holding their stuff behind, thinking they're going to launch it, seeing the way the market played out, and then revising their strategy. They are the type of retailer, whatever they are, that really is going to adapt to whatever the market is doing to maximize their profit. Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for that info, Joe. So Joe says a source on Twitter recently tweeted within the past day or so that one Amazon warehouse has 50,000 units available, and other warehouses should be following suit. They don't have a confirmed date yet. Yeah, I think Amazon's gonna try and take the Christmas money. I think that's what they're ready to do with the stock they have now. Obviously, after Christmas, all bets are off. Who knows what the market's gonna look like then? But right now, I can 99.9% guarantee you the following: Amazon has PS5 units, and they have the majority of their units. Just the reality is, with as big as Amazon is and the weight they have, there's no fucking way that they don't have a lot more units than they have released to the market. It's just, I mean, let's be real. Not every person, but the majority of people would probably just buy it off Amazon if they could have. So it's not like, whatever stock they had, they were given a good chunk, and they're being really intentional about how they're rationing it. Again, something I've mentioned a couple times: when the new stock of actually, the second wave of made PS5s comes in, when does my intuition tell me? So Mega Dream Pro asks, when does your intuition tell you about when Amazon will drop? So I think, especially with Amazon, I would be lying to you to try and like really predict it. But that in itself is useful, because the reason I feel that way is based on the way they've been selling, which is really infrequently. Amazon is not going to be one of those retailers, as far as I've seen, that is going to drop more than one time in a week. So I think the last time they dropped was like 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't a ton. So my gut says we probably will see an Amazon drop. You know, I would not say. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say this week, but I think it's likely that we'll see one in the next like 2 calendar weeks or whatever. So up to this Sunday and then plus a week. I think we will probably see one, just because this is like, I think Amazon caters not to us, which it is what it is. I get it. They're trying to be like the fabric to the way people buy shit. I think they are strategically catering their stock to the people that are not following it like we are. I think they're getting ready to launch it or make it available around the time that moms are getting ready to buy their shit for Christmas. Again, that's just my opinion on it, but I think, let's be real, Amazon looks like the fucking hero if they come through with the PS5 for Christmas, right? So I think it's a smart idea on their end. They're not worried about selling their stock, right? None of these retailers are worried about selling their stock. The selling is not the problem. So you have to think about, if you're someone who's going to offer it, what am I giving up, or what am I giving to my customers by doing it now versus then, or then versus now, or whatever. The same way everyone's super bitter about Walmart, which reasonably so, I'm bitter too. They're getting a ton of flack for the way they're doing it, but I think in the beginning, when we all saw it on paper, we didn't think it was the worst way to do it. I think most of us thought Walmart was the place we were probably going to get one from. I think PlayStation Direct in the beginning seemed like the long shot. I mean, maybe if you were like on top of it enough to pre-order and shit, of course PlayStation Direct's a great place. But if you were coming in late to the game, PlayStation Direct is it's kind of an intimidating thing to try and understand. It's you kind of have to already have a PlayStation for it to work the best that it can. So that's already a bit of a barrier to get into it. there's a queue system that no one fully understands that I think definitely frustrated a lot of people trying to get into it. Like, I mean, the reality is there's a lot of reasons people are gonna have a harder time stomaching the PlayStation Direct way of getting a PlayStation compared to Walmart, who just says, yo, be here at this time and we'll sell it to you. Obviously, the irony is that it seems like the more explicit and, I don't know, transparent the process is, the less likely normal people are to get them. So, yeah, I don't. We'll see what happens. I just think it's worth thinking about. At the end of the day, these companies, for better or for worse, they don't give a shit about us, guys. Ooh, Joe. Joe has an Amazon PS5 update. Oh, but I'm going to read Mega Dream Pro's thing from earlier. Just wanted to get a different perspective. I think this week, too. My chart is saying Amazon are thieves. Or your chat. Yeah, I mean, Amazon are thieves, but just, like, be smart. And if you're on Amazon, you see a PS5 for sale, that seems like it's the wrong price. It's because it's being resold, and that's a scalper, and Amazon hasn't caught it yet. So don't buy that. It's someone trying to play you. Or, I mean, it may be a real console, but it's a scalper. Anyways, Joe says, Amazon PS5 update. The warehouse I was informed about is keeping those 500 units or 50,000. I think it was 50,000 earlier. Keeping them till next week. I believe other warehouses are doing the same. I do have a date, but it's subject to change. Yeah, I mean, what you're saying, Joe, makes sense to me. That's what I would expect Amazon to be doing. To have a big chunk of this, and they're it's all good. So was it actually 500? Because that, for obvious reasons, does change the scale of that. I would love for it to be 50,000, but something tells me 50,000 might be a little bit high for a single warehouse. When you consider that, uh, if we do the math on this shit, I'm a little bit nerdy. Not that good at math, especially when I'm cross, but we'll find out. Oh, nice, dude. You got retweeted by Linus. Get it, brother. Uh, uh. I got, on one of my accounts, Linus blocked me. It was super cool. It's before I knew how to use Twitter. I was like, did I do something wrong? Turns out, just like tagging people continuously in your tweets is considered poor etiquette. Didn't know that. No, I had a thing where I was just like, hey, Linus, like, I know everyone's getting hyped about BrickSeek, but, like, read the BrickSeek FAQ. It says limited stock means there's more than likely one unit. And I think I think more than anything, he just got tired of someone he didn't know tagging him. Because in my dumbass, naive book, because I'm just, like, out here just, like, kicking it, I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, of course he wants to know I'm putting out this good information. It's like, nah, I'm just like basically trolling the internet that he feels like is prodding him a little too much, which, I get it. But yeah, that's actually what prompted me to start this whole account. I was like, oh shit. I gotta make this slightly more legitimate because people are thinking that I'm just fucking around, and I am fucking around, but I'm not like, I'm still like, I'm trying to have real facts and real shit and help people actually understand the climate we're in right now. So it's not all bullshit. And it turns out my other Twitter account, which has a slightly more inflammatory name, nothing derogatory, of course, Seattle, but it was not the kind of account that should have been taken seriously for credible information on the PlayStation 5. So I get it. That's awesome, Joe. I'll make sure I follow you on Twitter. I just use the Twitter for the PS5. Oh, shit. Yo, okay. I'm just going to level with you guys, because let's be real. The people that are going to watch me, if they're going to come back, should know what they're getting themselves into. I'm going to be a little scatterbrained. I'm probably going to be a little bit stoned. I'm probably going to be a little bit tipsy. I'm going to do my best to, not overdo it in any way, shape, or form. If if I do, I will take appropriate steps. But that means sometimes I forget the tangent that we're on, especially when I have all of these random stimulus that happen of chats and tweets and videos and things like that. So feel free. I apologize if I forget what we're talking about or what we're doing. Just like hold me accountable. I would love to go back to it. All of this relevant because remember when I was gonna write on a whiteboard. I didn't. Now I do. But I didn't before. Because we were gonna talk about the ways to increase your nature or the nature of your individual requests. For the record, as far as substances and things go, I believe each person should do what is right for them. Respect your limits. Don't do anything dangerous. But that's just my opinion. But I'm also not going to openly censor myself trying to be a real person because I think there's a lot of real people who are in a similar-ish boat right now. So I'm going to do it. What are you going to play on the PS5? Bruh? Come on, you know. I mean, the wrong but right answer is Demon Souls. For me. But let's be real. Most of us. I mean, I said, yeah, Astroworld, exactly. No, I mean, I've been following Cyberpunk for a long time. You know, it is at this point, it is a game that is. I saw some posts the other day. I'm gonna find it because it is the main thing that made me realize how long Cyberpunk has been out for. So I apologize to the Reddit people because, which is probably everyone here, right? But they listed all the games and things that have happened since Cyberpunk has been announced. Things that have happened since Cyber. Oh, Jesus, can't spell. Cyberpunk. And it is like, it's absurd. I think like one of it's like the PS4 and okay, I think I found it. It's like a top post on Reddit. Sorry to the people who spend too much time on Reddit already. You're gonna hear me recycling the content. So, things that have happened since Cyberpunk was announced. 2 Resident Evil remakes, 2 Toulas, 2 Rockstar open world games, 2 Dark Souls, 3 Gears of Wars, 11 Call of Duties, 9 Assassin's Creeds, 2 Gods of Wars, 3 Miyazaki games, 2 Uncharted, 2 Devils May Cry, 3 Watch Dogs, 2 games in a Kojima demo, 2 Namuro games, 1 Last Guardian, announcement that Final Fantasy Versus 13 became Final Fantasy 5 and launch, Baldur's Gate 3 announced, Diablo 4 announced, Baldur's Gate 3 launched, which I know because I played it, Kingdom's Heart and a prologue, announcement launch of Shenmue 3, 2 Fallouts, 4 Battlefields, 2 World Cups, 1 entire Star Wars trilogy, 6 Yakuzas, 5 JoJo animations, 2 Popes, 2 Spider-Man reboots, 3 Avengers, Death of the Wii U, Birth of the Switch, launch of the PS4 and the PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series X, and Skyrim in a fridge. Let's see how many viewers I lost. Nice! You're all still here. At least it's the same amount. So, for me, I've been waiting for Cyberpunk for quite some time now, and I'm I would love to play it. That is the main thing that has inspired me to try and get a PlayStation 5 by December 11th. That's why I'm keeping such a close eye on it, because I just... You know what? I'll reveal a small amount of my personal feelings and things. So I love psychology, very interested in it. Business too, so marketing, of course, fun time. But one of the books I was reading was talking about basically your reward systems and how your brain works. And it basically made the point that your brain creates... Viewers are like, yeah, fuck this, I'm here for the PS5. Your brain creates more positive feelings in thinking about something than it does in actually receiving it. So the idea of me thinking about this beer technically produces more dopamine and serotonin than the actual act of drinking it, which in itself makes sense because that's basically the way you quantify motivation. You have to want something to do it. So, with the way the PS5 launch has been going, it's just like living in the want and the desire of like, oh, I want it. Oh, sorry, Philip, you said something. Yeah, I just saw a post from a dude saying graduated high school, university. It's kids since it was announced. Oh, fuck, man. Really made me reflect then about how time flies. Truth. I can't say I'm in that much better of a place than I was when it was announced. I'm, definitely more of an adult, but definitely, no kids. I guess I did high school and university, so that counts. But, yeah. All this to just say, we've just spent a lot of time thinking about having the PS5, and not a lot of time interacting with it or dealing with it in any capacity. So I think we're all kind of hitting similar to like pandemic fatigue. I think that fatigue is starting to blur into the PS5 world too, where I'm just like, please let it be done. I just want to play my game. Please take my money. Never was it so hard to spend $600. Like, go to a casino, man. That shit can disappear in 1 second. Not that I'm a gambler, but for each their own. Do whatever you need. I'm just saying, it's the way this whole system is set up. Like I'm watching my Twitter feed behind, right, and I just get like random streams of like people posing with their consoles, where they're like, got the PS4 drop in high school, and now I got the PS5, and I'm like, yeah, fucking sick. Not really. Anyways, I'm gonna go into something that I tried to start. Now this will be the third time I've tried to start it. Let's see if we can get through it this time. Uh, how to maximize your unique requests when it comes to trying to get into PlayStation Direct. So, well, of course, I've managed to. Good news, people. I lost my marker and then I found it in my lap. Wow. What a day to be alive. Okay. So, the most important, or I guess probably the top arc for this shit, is going to be your device. The device is where everything starts and is technically, all these strategies I think apply to the device. Don't quote me on that. Device. That's number one. This is fun. Wow, this reminds me of when I used to TA. This is great. Okay. From your device, you are able to create, or I guess implement, different browsers. So I'll write the individual. Chrome, Safari. So, observe. My Satari. Nice, Chris. As you can tell, I'm very artistically inclined. Oh, Philip said stuff. I was going to go mention, too, is psychology. If you have high expectations for something and the outcome is less than amazing, then you will more than likely be disappointed. Yes. But if you have low expectations and the outcome is good, then it will be much more perceived as a great thing. Totally, man. Which is to say, at this point, I'm not expecting a PS5 anytime soon. Oh, truth. Truth, brother. I think that's the right way to do it. Both, like, on your computer and if you leave your house, if you go into something believing you're going to get a PS5, then it's your first time trying to get it. I totally agree with you. I think unfortunately, the attitude to dealing with this stuff is you just gotta go into it believing it's not gonna happen, and then if it does happen, you're pleasantly surprised, and the saga is over. But I think if you live your PlayStation 5 search life expecting it to come through even a third of the time, I know that's like not great to hear if you're new to trying to get one of these, but I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like I've tried 4 or 5 times, and then within each of those individual things, there's the number of times that I've tried. So I myself and many others, like, I'm coming from the perspective of someone who had it taken out of their bank account. Like, I paid money for PS5. I was fucking hyped, which actually reminds me. Yo, say what you will about Kohl's, but Kohl's Cash is real money, guys. So them canceling orders but giving people $180 is, like, in the beginning we were like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, now that more people are canceling orders and that's becoming commonplace, the fact that, like, me personally, I tried to get 2 bundles off Kohl's, both got canceled. I got $360 at Kohl's. And before, or probably after if you're watching this, you make the joke, what are you going to buy, clothes? Nah. I'm not going to buy clothes. Turns out they have a ton of shit. They got furniture. They got electronics. Like, it's a deal. Straight up. I mean, obviously they had to deal with some bullshit in my bank account of them taking money and putting it back in, Chase flagging me, and all this blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I walked away, or I'm going to ultimately walk away, with free stuff. They paid me for my time. Compare that to Dell. Compare that to GameStop. Compare that to Adorama. They're just telling people, nah. Sorry. Philip says, damn, bruh. What the fuck? Oh, what even is life? I like how I add the fuck in there. Dude, I don't fuck. Yo, you're looking at life in 2020. What the fuck is this, man? I've been... like, you're looking at it. It's weird. I'm not going to say it's better, because I think it's pretty obvious that it's not. But I will say that this is cool. This is a bright spot for me personally. I don't know. I'm interacting with people, and despite the fact that I've been talking for 3.5 hours straight, I'm not super active in the way that I interact with people. So this is a lot of interaction for me, which I'm about. It's cool. I mean, that's kind of the idea here, is hopefully, even if you don't want to chat, which is totally fine, because I didn't chat for a very long time. Like, to have a voice or a person that's sitting there kind of keeping an eye on things, it's just nice. It's comforting just to have someone. And hopefully you like them, or at least think they're a decent person. If not, like, I respect your opinion, whatever. Do you? I completely understand why some of my behavior is not the most palatable. But, a lot of us, I think, are in this boat and just trying to figure it out. So, I'm trying to be one of those people. Oh, look. Guys. It's the 4th time. It's the 4th time we're coming back to it. Although, let's be real, last time I did write stuff down, so that's something. Yes, getting back to our lesson. So, basically, these are the different ways to create extra independent or unique requests to increase your chances of getting something on PlayStation Direct. You want as many what feels like individual requests as you can get. These are, as far as I understand, the ways in which a normal person is able to do it. So, basically, as I will make here, sorry, there's a lot of multitasking. Ooh. People have a lot of luck on the store apps as well. Shake my head. People discriminating by excluding Firefox. I'm not like excluding it. I respect Firefox. I just let's be real. Firefox is a competitor with Chrome, but it's not really with Safari. Safari's like the stepchild that you only pull out when you need a specific request, whereas like Firefox is almost a legitimate browser, so you kind of like have to debate them. Joe says people have a lot of luck on the store apps as well. Truth, especially for Target, I've heard the Target app generally is more effective than. I think there's just something to do with it recognizing you as a unique person or a unique request. I think again, I don't understand a ton about the technical side, but there's definitely a lot more information for them to try and process and determine what to do with you when you're on a computer than when you're on an app on a phone, which I think is part of what happens. I think, like, have people gotten CAPTCHAs on the app? I don't think they have. I'm like, have I ever got a CAPTCHA on an app? I don't even know. So, yeah, the apps in general, assuming they're not, like, super non-user friendly, they seem to be beating out browsers when it comes to shit going live. Best Buy, Walmart as well. I think I did one on one of them. Yeah, I think you did on one of them. Yeah, that's what I've heard. The apps. One of the interesting things actually that plays into our chart. Oh shit. Okay. Is I heard rumor, don't know if it's true, but I think it's vaguely true, that you can actually get a secondary channel of unique requests by clicking them the links through apps. Because the apps, depending on the app, so I'm mostly talking about Twitter if I'm being honest, but like Twitter has the capacity to host a browser within the app itself. So it's not, it can do a Twitter internet, which means when you click a link through Twitter, it registers as a unique request, which is it's worth knowing, because that I actually, now that I think about it, I think that's how a lot of people manage to skirt some of the queues and get by quickly. Is they were I think going to links in Twitter, which were either opening within Twitter or opening within, I guess it would be within Twitter. So yeah. So I mean, it's very real. So oh man, I don't even know. There's other people I'm watching on here. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the bullshit that I wrote on here. Oh, this is fun. Oh god, I forgot how much I like teaching in school. It's so fun. Okay. PS direct unique requests. All that meaning is a place in line. That's all we mean for the PlayStation queue. We're just talking about getting in line, and basically the idea of having multiple people in line representing you. How do you do it? So he's talking behind the whiteboard. I'm sure that translates super well. So number one, wow, this is very confusing. Device is the most important thing. That's going to be like the macro umbrella of just about everything. So, device, computer, phone. I would say if you live with other people, your best bet is to ask them when shit goes down, for PlayStation Direct specifically, to be like, hey, can you open this link and do the thing and just kind of see where you end up. Because I think a lot of people have managed to get their consoles that way. So, oh damn, I really gotta watch where I put these things. Sorry. Still figuring this out, right? So device is number one. Within the device, we're going to talk about browsers because it applies to both, but this is what we were referencing earlier. There's such a thing as a unique app request. So opening a Twitter link in a Twitter app will open a Twitter request for PlayStation, which is technically considered another person in line. I am not 100% positive on that, but that's the stuff I've been hearing that's been reported. It's something I will definitely try when the next shit goes live, but that's worth knowing. So if you're someone who's like following, uh, you know, as I think you should, if you're trying to do PlayStation Direct, I think it's worth following a couple Twitter followers. But that's gonna be like a totally different channel for you to get extra people waiting in line for you. Apps kind of its own thing, but under the devices specifically, browsers. I wrote Chrome and Safari because that's what I'm using. As was it Joe or Philip that said earlier, where we were like talking shit on Firefox, which is not Firefox's fault. Firefox did nothing wrong. But I put Chrome and Safari because I mean, maybe if I want to maximize my chances, I probably should get Firefox on there too. But different different browsers will give you different requests as well. And then within said browsers, this is this gibberish down here, despite it being almost hieroglyphic, uh, is just private and public. So you can have a private and a public version of, I think, the majority of browsers that normal people use. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you're crazy, I suppose you could put 8 people in line or something like that. But uh, it's probably not a good move. I would say the way I had it was I had each of the browser pages open. So, and they were blank. You don't know. Shouldn't camp the page. Could flag you as a bot. But I had browser open with the web address sitting in there ready to go so that I could just flip over to it and hit enter and then start that process. So that as soon as Twitter started popping off, I could be like, okay, go time. Let's see what's going on here. So that I, I would say keep an eye on Twitter. Be ready to move fast on that. Use all as many different ways as you think you can possibly get a unique address. I will say, my experience again, some of them, at least one time when I did it, I was not sure if I was actually getting 2 unique addresses. It's possible I just entered 2 tickets or whatever into the line at almost the same time, so it would have been borderline indistinguishable. Um, that's who knows, but uh, I think they were different. Sometimes it's hard to know whether or not you've actually succeeded in getting a unique request or a unique ticket. I don't know what the right terminology is. I'm just spitballing to try and make it clear. Um, but yeah, it's all about just like get a bunch of requests in, get your place in line because the first one in line is what's gonna matter. I heard a rumor last time it happened, and I was part of perpetuating said rumor that like maybe they're gonna go on sale by the time you get into the actual store, but the inventory's not gonna be there. So being early in the queue is actually gonna screw you over. Do I think that happened to some people? Yes. Do I think it happened to enough people that anyone should modify their strategy to accommodate it? Fuck no. I think this is what I'm gonna do. We'll see what my results are. I think it'll be tomorrow. We'll find out. Uh, but I think as soon as you hear that shit is live, especially again, remember, streamers are like, unless they're super super high res, they're probably 10 seconds behind. Uh, I would jump into it as soon as you know it's live. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna see how it goes. But I don't totally believe this idea of it's better to wait. I don't think most normal people are in a position where the waiting is gonna help them or it's gonna harm them. So just my perspective on it, but yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see, how long have we been doing this shit? 3 hours and 40 minutes. Wow. Jesus Christ. Sorry, for the record, any and all religions, whatever you feel, do you. It's not my personal religion, but I respect you, and I respect you respecting other people. All that to say, I apologize if I use some slightly derogatory terms. I think I'm probably gonna have to maybe bow out here just because I'm getting pretty tired. I've never done this before, and I haven't really eaten dinner. I'm pretty hungry and I'm pretty tired. So I think I'm probably gonna call it a night for tonight. Just because I found myself rambling about things that I don't think are actually that helpful for you guys. So for whoever is here, or whoever may end up watching this, thank you. Super appreciate people being here, contributing, talking. I'm gonna call out by name the people that talk to me because, it's kind of my first time doing this, and they feel kind of special to me. So thank you, Joe. I think it's just Ling. But Joe, thank you. I appreciate it. Philip WG, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I think they both subscribed too. I don't have this shit together, so it's hard. Mega Dream Pro, I'll probably pop in on your channel later when I've like taken a shower and become a human again. What about Gnold? Gnold, thank you for watching. Really appreciate that. Snuffy said hi at one point. She or he, I don't know why I assume that's a she, but maybe left pretty quick. David, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you. And Tom the Bomb, thank you. Colin, thank you. Caleb, thank you. Wow, look at all these. Wow, this is crazy. Sorry, guys. I appreciate you bearing with that part for me. It's just, it's wild. Oh, wow, you're still here. Oh, dope. Thanks, guys. Gnold, Philip, thank you. I should be on here pretty regularly. I'm going to try and do this often, so hopefully I'll run into you again. Thanks a lot for contributing. I don't have the money part set up yet, David. I'm not too stressed about it. Don't worry. I'm just kind of here to have community and talk to people, but I appreciate it. It's nice. But yeah, thanks, guys. It was. This is crazy. This is only my second time doing this. I talked to Mega Dream for a small time yesterday, and like today I talked to 5 or 6 different people. I know I was technically in the single digits, but this really felt worth it for me. So thanks. I really appreciate you guys talking to me, and I'll be around. So if you want to see where I'm at tomorrow, it's probably going to be in about the same place talking about hopefully something different. All right. Don't forget to post on Reddit or Twitter too with the appropriate hashtag. Yeah, you're right. I need to get better at that. I know. Yeah. I still have a little bit of like my personal issues with being like, oh, I don't want to like whore myself out and annoy people. But you're right. You kind of have to do that otherwise the algorithms don't work. So, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Don't worry about it. If I figure out how to take money eventually, like whatever, we'll figure it out. But that's not really why I'm doing it. So, all right. Thanks guys. Wow. This is going to be some crazy shower thoughts. If last time I came up with the whiteboard, what am I going to come up with this time? Shit. Oh, all right.